Hey, we are golden. Let's double, triple, quadruple check just to make sure. Yeah, it's looking good. If I do say so myself. Knock on wood, hopefully there's no serious audio problems. Okay, yeah, it's sounding good. We got Volks in here. We got Senor Churro. Uh, Zavanator the Eliminator, I think? That's a pretty good name. Yeah, it's a pretty good name. Alrighty. How are you all doing? Oh yeah, we got some regulars in here. Also, some of you I don't actually properly recognize. And it is nice to make your acquaintance. Halo Infinite, says the Eliminator. Now let's have a good stream. That's definitely the goal. Have I played Space Marine 2? No, I have not. I am definitely the Squidward looking out the window, very jealous. It seems like a lot of the campaign is giving people that like old school Gears of War co-op vibes, and unfortunately, I have nobody to play it with. But trust me, I believe the word of mouth. It looks very, very, very fun. You must have at least one mode selected. Modes may still be loading. Yeah, they're probably loading. You gotta admit, the enemies from Halo Infinite is perfect. For the Banished? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think 343 did... They... Considering that the campaign is open world, 343 did an incredible job of adapting Halo's combat AI for an open world environment. Because in traditional Halo campaigns, like if you think about it, the enemy is always in front of you. Always. You're never being flanked, you know? They're always like, you enter the room, they're ahead of you. You start shooting, you step over the dead bodies and get to the next room. There they are, they're ahead of you still. When you're in those banished outposts in the open world, like they're all around you 360 degrees. So the way that the AI interact with the environment, the way that you engage them, all of it has to be like carefully rethought and reapplied. And they did it. Your Spartan looks very tactical. Oh, he doesn't look nearly tactical enough. I actually threw on some gaudy, not gaudy, that's not the term I'm going to use, some vibrant colors. I do actually quite like blue because, you know, I miss red versus blue. So seeing a Spartan gauntlet with some blue on it brings me back to the old days. But it's also about just like lots of color, as well as those holograms that I threw on his legs, because they're very, very, very detailed. And I was doing a video on anti-aliasing in Halo Infinite, and so I needed a very busy-looking Spartan. But here, let's throw on actually the stuff that I usually put on. Favorites. It is... There we go. Alrighty. Could you do an evolution video on the Spartans, including lore Spartans, like the Flood and Banished Armor sets? I'm going to get to the Spartans eventually. The next evolution video is going to be on the Warthog, the history of Halo's Warthog. But believe me, Spartans are going to be something I'm going to have to tackle eventually. All right. Let's get into it now. Arena objective. No, we got to do something that I can like relax to, you know, talk to you guys about. Here we go. Is any of the new 343 staff, do any of the new 343 staff have past experience working on Halo? Not that I know of. But to be fair, Halo is like, trying to think, it's almost like 20, 23 years old now. So you've got entirely new generations of game developers that are starting to get into Halo now. Or not Halo, game development now. And Halo might be one of their first projects. Yeah, so like one fella who helped me out with my Evolution of the Jackals video, you know, first time working on Halo, but you bet your ass off that they grew up playing Halo. So it was kind of like a hyper mega fan moment of being able to finally work on a Halo game after years of only playing it. Are you doing some customs or online matchmaking? Online matchmaking for now. I'm actually having trouble reading the text. I think it looks a little bit... Yeah, it's slightly bigger, actually, on Google Chrome, so I'm just going to use that to read the chat, rather than the little Streamlabs overlay. What's your favorite variant of the ODST helmet? I really like Firefall. Firefall's a great helmet. I think my personal favorite is probably the Halo Reach one. That being said, the Halo 3 ODST one goes really hard. And that style of helmet is something that you couldn't easily replicate, because I think a lot of the cool factor of it is because of the unintentional angles that the low poly look gives it. Which is why for some people they say Halo Infinite's ODST helmet looks a little bit odd. It's probably because it has more polygons. So some of the sharpness of it is lost because it's more like realistically rounded. Have you seen Transformers 1 yet? I have not seen it. The wife and I are gonna see it though. Oh boy. That's loud. The wife and I are gonna see it. We're going to have a nice little date. Oh, hang on. My mouse sensitivity is too low. That was also part of the video earlier today that I was working on. Here, let's also bump up the field of view to like... Okay, and also turn back on the HUD. We're going to need that. This is my first time watching one of your streams, says ununique username. Welcome to the stream. I gotta ask then, it's your first time watching one of the streams. What did you think of the previous upload, the Evolution video? I love your feedbacks. And yes, I know, I know, before somebody says it, I know you're gonna say it, stop! I'm very aware of the audio issue that had me like a ghostly whisper repeating, crap, what was it that I was saying over and over again? As always, as always, as always. It was like, there were 4 repeats of it. It was something like that. It was very, very obnoxious. I don't know what did that. But I'm going to be very extra careful to look out for audio oddities like that next time I render something. You can't hear anything. Okay. Let me see if I can fix that then. Desktop audio. Ah! No, that's not playing anything. Let's try this. No, that's not playing anything either. Let's go into the audio settings then. Maybe we can find the culprit in here. Communication. No. Huh. Default? Is anything playing out? Oh wait, yes, I see it. Here we go. Okay. Let me know if I need to bump it up just a bit more.
Enemy returned their flag.
Why is your weapon so ugly, dude?
The enemy has your
which weapon? Which weapon? There's a couple of them that I have set to really, really ugly skins.
Yard sale.
Oh boy.
returned our flag.
Missed your evolution series. Yeah, I missed doing it too, and I'm really happy with how the Jackal video came out. Might have to tweak the thumbnail though. Hey, we got Frozen Fire in here. Neat evolution of vehicles, but in first person, like dashboards and stuff. Oh, you know when I get to work on the evolution of the Warthog, I'm gonna be showing you some details you've never seen before. I'm actually quite excited about the Warthog. I like the new BR model. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It was based off of Reach concept art for the battle rifle. You know, that ultimately did not make it into the final game, but I think there's a guy up there. Oh no! I'm about to get got. Nope. Yeah, that's right.
An ally returned our flag.
What are your thoughts on the fact that the ammo changed on the assault rifle from CE to 2? Do you think it'll affect gameplay positively? Ammo changed on the assault rifle from CE to 2. Do you mean from Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 3? Because there was no assault rifle in Halo 2. Like the change from 60 rounds to 32 rounds? Hello, just got here, Sis Samurai. Welcome, welcome. Well, I hope you enjoyed Transformers 1. Okay, that's good to hear. I've been hearing really good things about Transformers 1. Didn't know you streamed. I do stream. Until at least I pick up the pace a bit with audio, video production, but I will never be able to unsee the Jackal floating shield emitter. Oh, which one? The Halo Reach one, or the Halo 2 Anniversary, or the Combat Evolved Anniversary Jackal shield emitter that's just like floating there? Dude, this DMR looks cool. Is this the This is the Forerunner one, right? The one that kind of looks like a Forerunner? Because look at the ammo counter. It looks kind of like the Forerunner doors. And then there's at least a glyph on the back of it that looks very Forerunner-y. Late night. Been a minute since I was able to catch you live. Glad to be here and show some love. You have goated Halo content, says Tim O'Brien. I appreciate that, Tim. That's very kind of you, friend. How are you doing, and what did you think of the latest upload? Hopefully it was pleasing. What is it with media being 1 or -1 lately? Well, it's supposed to be symbolic, I think, of the fact that it's like an origin story, or like the origins or the original. Like Battlefield 1, for example, it's like, because it was like arguably the first modern battle. You know, it was kind of like the end of the era where people would march out into giant empty fields and stand in lines, taking turns shooting at each other, and they adopted more things like guerrilla warfare, trench warfare, the invention of the tank. Weapons were beginning to get accurate enough.
The enemy has your flag.
You know, that muskets weren't really a thing anymore, to an extent. Transformers 1, it's, you know, Optimus Prime and Megatron, before they became Optimus Prime and Megatron. It's a naming thing. The end of linear warfare, that's a good way to describe it. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think also during that time period, it was also Battlefield courtesy to pay for the enemy side's losses, because warfare was so formal. Like, there was no cover, you know? It was like, you all were like walking and marching out into the field, and then taking turns shooting at each other. So it was very creepy and chess-like. And so as you killed the enemy team, God, I'm chronically online, man. As you kill the enemy side's forces, you do compensate for the families who lost their loved ones, because it's like, you know, it's kind of like chess, like they're all pawns. Like, yeah, a majority of soldiers are going to go out there and die. You know, Transformers 1 was my nickname in high school. I don't believe you. I think you're making a joke. I've always wondered why those melee two-shots titanium super soldiers... Oh, like why you can punch twice and then a Spartan is killed? Well, obviously the boring answer is that it makes for better game balance. But if you want like a nerdy lore answer, I could come up with one for you on the spot. I'm not sure if this is the actual answer. They're also Spartans, so you're not just being like punched, you're being punched by a genetically augmented superhuman.
An ally captured the flag.
So it's like they're massive, overgrown Frankenstein fists. One of them pops the shield, and then the other is so strong that it just punches a hole through your chest. Okay. Was that a rocket launcher? Oh, it was a Hydra. That's how it didn't kill me. Okay. Man, if he wasn't like crawling towards me, all he needed was one missile and a follow-up melee, and I would have been toast. Was more dangerous, the necromorphs or the flood?
5 minutes remaining.
I'd say the flood, because necromorphs, they can only operate within like the vicinity of a marker, and they require dead tissue. Whereas the flood is not dead tissue. You know, the flood aren't undead. They take your flesh and your biology and like rewrite you to make you flood. So all the flood forms that are like running around, all of that is living flood tissue. None of it's deceased. So I'd imagine that the flood also work with corpses. Like they can take corpses and break it down into biomatter and reconstitute it into living flood tissue. So I'd imagine like the necromorphs would be fucking toast.
Grand slam! Double kill.
Because all the flood would have to do is come into contact with one of those necromorphs and co-opt the dead tissue, absorb it into its mass, and convert it into living flood tissue. And then boom, no more necromorph. Necromorphs are very slow when it comes to infection. Depends on the game, to be honest. Because as far as Dead Space 1 is concerned, like the original Dead Space 1, you get the impression that it is a lot slower. And that it's kind of like a process that happens over a very long period of time. And then Dead Space 2, because it was more of an action game, they came up with, you know, they sped things up a little bit, like the kind of like slow creep of the insanity and stuff like that. It's like, nah, abbreviate it. Let's get to the chaos immediately. And then by Dead Space 3, it was like you turn on a light switch and boom, there's necromorphs everywhere. We've skipped the insanity part. But are they more dangerous than the Witness? Yes, anything, literally anything is more dangerous than the Witness. The darkness that destroyed the solar system in Destiny 1. That is more dangerous than the Witness. Good job on the Jackal evolution. I especially liked the countdowns you did in between different iterations. And that comes from our boy, our guy, our dude, Mr. Nowhere. I appreciate the $50, dude. That's incredibly kind of you, as always. Yeah, and I'm glad that you really liked it. And I'm glad you liked the countdown thing. The countdown thing, I thought that it would give people a nut, because, like, I thought it would give people a nice little, like, breather to be able to just look at the Jackal without my narration, while also giving them, like, a time, like, the 10 seconds, basically, that way if you're on your phone, you can double tap forward. So if you're not interested in just staring at the Jackal, you can just double tap forward and you're immediately at the next part. And I'm glad that you liked it. What about Logic Plague versus Dementia? Marker Dementia. What beats what? I'd say Logic Plague because there are more uses for it. With Marker Dementia, it's all about building another marker and getting people crazy so that they'll build markers. And even then, the Marker Dementia, it only affects very specific people. Like, only specific people have, like, the, if I wanted to make a really funny joke, I'd say it probably affects autistic people more than neurotypical people. But the marker dementia, the reason people go crazy in the presence of a marker is because their brains cannot interpret the marker signal, whereas certain neurotypes are fully capable of, like, interpreting what the marker wants and what to do. And so people like Isaac, favorite autistic protagonist in a game, Isaac Clarke. I'm okay to be known as Da Boy. What about Dat Boy? Do you remember Dat Boy from a couple years ago? No, Dat Boy was not a couple years ago. It was almost a decade ago. God. You know something that's wild? I miss when memes were kind of like, you had like a meme of the season, you know? Like nowadays we get memes, but they're like a flash in the pan type thing. It's like it's maybe got a week and then everyone's moved on. You don't really get memes anymore that the entire internet is collectively obsessed with. It's usually just a thing everyone thinks is really funny for about a week. And then everyone disperses back into their own meme subcultures. Dat Boy was 8 years ago. Yeah, almost a decade ago. God. Yeah, so anyways, Marker Dementia is very narrow. And Logic Plague has a wider range of, like, utilities. You could do... I mean, ultimately it is also about Flood Victory. Like, why a Gravemind would subject you to the Logic Plague. But even Logic Plague, that's such a bizarre... It's such a bizarre term. I don't like using Logic Plague that much because I think even with the way that the book describes it, like, it's not like, you know, it's not like a proper noun, you know, the Logic Plague, Gravemind, use Logic Plague. It's more like that's the best way that they can describe what the Gravemind has done. It is like a very, very, very subliminal indoctrination, but not through, like, waves or anything. It's just extremely careful psychology and conditioning. What I'm trying to say is the Gravemind is good with words. He doesn't use a special power called Logic Plague. Yeah, so because of that, I think Marker Dementia is overall less dangerous because it's so just, like, build a marker, figure out how. JC Dog says, you mentioned you had different opinions about Halo 5's campaign. What changed? We're going to have to play Halo 5's campaign on a stream. It's not...
Enemy is nearing total control.
This is going to sound rich coming from me. Like, really rich, okay? This year made me realize that life is too precious to get so insanely twisted and bent out of shape about media. Especially when that media is, like, a decade old and it didn't, you know, it didn't intend any harm. So, Halo 5,
Spartan.
I played through it again, getting the evolution of the Jackals with a much calmer mindset. And you know what? There is some stuff to appreciate there. There is some stuff to appreciate there. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things that I disagree with. But there's also a lot of good stuff there. For Halo Infinite, do you recommend putting everything to ultra graphics? Depends on your PC. I've got a GTX 1080 Ti, so unfortunately ultra is... like, I can run the game at ultra at 60 FPS, but 1440p is not... Like, that's out of the question if I want a smooth 60 FPS. And if I'm streaming here, definitely, you know, I gotta tune down some of those features so that my PC doesn't get hogged up. But also, if the graphics settings are too high, the menus also start lagging a lot. So, you know, that's something I've got to consider is, like, giving the game enough wiggle room so that it can boot itself up cleanly. I also downloaded... You probably noticed that Spartan looks very, very pixely, even though this game has TAA, and that's because I have disabled the game's temporal anti-aliasing. And it's interesting looking. Halo Infinite without temporal anti-aliasing. Do you subscribe to the idea that the only reason people died in the lifeboat in CE was because Chief ping-ponged around since he didn't sit down and buckle his seatbelt? Okay, listen. No, that's not why everyone died in the lifeboat. Master Chief did not become a giant ping-pong ball and bounce around the inside of that escape craft, accidentally killing all the Marines. That's not why they're dead. They're dead because they did not survive impact. And Master Chief survived because of his armor. But it is a great narrative that the community has created that actually Master Chief just fucking rattled around that thing as it was crashing, accidentally killing everyone inside.
Capture all zones to score.
Because he's so heavy. That is like my favorite. I really used to like that Noble 6 survived the raising and glassing of a planet's surface by hiding in a cave. But the ping pong Master Chief has ascended to be like my favorite community story. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Are we talking about the escape pod? Yeah, we are. The Halo TV show really made me think 343 hates Halo. Well, would it surprise you to know that, like, 343 didn't have a lot of creative control over that Halo show? You know? And, if 343 had more creative control, I'm willing to bet that that show would have been a hell of a lot more game accurate. You know, and even the people who made, like, the Halo show, you know, it wasn't their intention to make a bad TV show, because that's bad business, you know? And it wasn't about, like, hating the franchise or hating the IP. It's more about, like, it was the wrong group of people, because what they were thinking was, like, adaptations. You know, they were thinking of adapting the source material. So taking the source material, like, got it, green guy, giant circles, bugs from outer space. All right, let's adapt it, and turn it into something that'll make for good television. When it's like, Halo's core universe could actually make for some pretty good television. I don't think there was much that needed to be adapted. More like translated is the way that I'd put it. All you got to do is cut out the gameplay and translate the story into... Because, you know, if there was a Halo show that was a one-to-one adaptation of Halo Combat Evolved, you would have entire episodes that were nothing but Master Chief running down a corridor, throwing a grenade, shooting his rifle, reloading, and then moving to the next corridor. Halo's a very story-light game series. Which is wild to say because of Halo 2 and stuff, but if you know what I mean, then you get it. The Last of Us, I'm not surprised that The Last of Us made for it was easier to adapt The Last of Us for TV than it was Halo. They looked at the source but didn't understand it. That's a good way to put it. And it's not out of like malice or anything. I would be oh man, I accidentally killed that guy. I'm so sorry. I'd be curious to know how they consumed the source material, because the Halo show, what I get the impression of is that they didn't actually play the games. What they did was they read all of the books and studied them religiously, and then probably also watched the cutscenes on YouTube. But I do get the impression that they studied the actual lore, and probably the books quite a bit. And I think it's very important that you also play the games, because a lot of Halo's tone comes from the core gameplay and the kind of stories that are formed.
Your team is close to total control.
The thing I never got about Noble Six surviving is that Halsey literally said you gave your life at the end of Halo Reach. That's the fun of the Halo community, you know?
Lost another one to that sniper.
There could literally be like a tombstone that says like, here lies Noble Six, loving father of Melissa Six, husband to Jessica Six. Noble will be missed forever, and like the Halo community would still be like, but about that cave, I really think we gotta look into that cave.
Your team is close to total control.
Have you tried the Mega Bloks Halo game? I have not. I've got to show my wife though, because she might be livid seeing it and learning that they canceled it. You want to know what I'm talking about, baby? It leaked, and it's playable. All we need is a modded Xbox 360 to boot it up, but a game company pitched a Lego Halo game to 343, and they built an entire level. And so it's like Lego Star Wars, but Halo. So it's like big-headed Master Chief running around, like when you kill the Covenant, they like, wah, and explode into bricks. Yep. And 343 turned down the proposal because they were worried about coming off as milking the Halo IP. I want them to milk Halo. I'm so tired of waiting like half a decade between game releases. Pretty sure you can get a ROM for it from somewhere and play it on Xenia.
The sniper's gonna take
I'll look
us
into
all.
that then.
New zones are ready for capture.
It's pretty funny that 343 used the cave meme when you die in Firefight King of the Hill. Wait, really? What is 343? I thought that when you die, it says you're missing in action. Does it say that you survived in a cave?
You got new zones incoming.
Whoa, that was crazy. I have no clue what just happened. It's funny to me that 343 was worried about milking the Halo IP while Nintendo releases a new Mario game like every 6 months. Yeah.
New zones are ready for
Nintendo's kind
capture.
of like untouchable that way. They're just like, you know, we're talking right now about like, you know, Nintendo milking their properties. It's wild to me that like Nintendo releases games and every single one of their games is like the most culturally important thing ever, to the point that years after release, it is still $60. You know, because it's like Super Mario Odyssey. Why would that game ever just be at retail for 20 bucks? What do you think this is? Assassin's Creed? Like, no, of course Mario Odyssey is going to stay at $60. And it's wild that Nintendo just... they figured out how to do that. To make their games so important that they never devalue. And then we look over at Xbox and PlayStation. And it's like, you could probably pass on buying games at launch. They'll be 20 bucks in a couple of months. You know, or in the case of Sony, I guess, it'll be unplayable within a couple of weeks. Dude, that Concord stuff is wild. I don't know if you saw it wasn't Jeff Grubb. It was somebody else. They were talking about how Concord's development budget might have been $400 million. And it was originally $200 million. And then Sony bought the studio and put another $200 million into that game's development. And they probably grossed, in total, $1 million. And then they had to give that money back because they refunded people. So this might be the biggest video game loss for Sony in the last well over 10 years. That's just wild to me. They need to make more games about Astrobot. They need to bring back that who's that PlayStation mascot that you really love, honey? The PlayStation 2 one?
Killing spree.
Toro Nioune?
Your team is close to
The
total
Sony cat.
control.
They need to bring back the Sony cat. Yeah,
Windshield wiper.
his wish is to become human. Yeah, Sony used to have like this adorable little cat
Your team is
mascot.
close to total control.
He was the mascot of PlayStation until Sony decided that they prefer boring, and they got like Horizon Zero Dawn or Killzone or The Last of Us. Dude, I hope Astrobot stays around. I hope that becomes like the next big thing, because I really miss character platforming. It's like a lot. We need way more of them. You know, ukulele. I'm talking A Hat in Time. I'm talking Astrobot.
Your team is
Yeah.
close to total control.
Where's Crash Bandicoot? Where's Ratchet and Clank? Well, Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot. now because they bought Activision. So that's where Crash is. Bancoody. And Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank's one that I never jived with too well. I'm not too familiar with that one.
Enemies below us.
Enemy there.
I watched 343's mini-movie, Forward Unto Dawn.
Enemy there.
And I got the vibe that they had a much more understanding and knowledge of the grisly potential of the Covenant. Oh, for that movie? Well, that movie, it was very clever because they understood the budget that they were working within. If I could draw a comparison then to the Halo show on Paramount Plus, the Fall of Reach episode, the longer that I think about it, the less I like. At first, I was like, "Wow, like, you know, that's really good." And it also helps that it was kind of like came at a very like stressful period in our lives, my wife and I. But the biggest problem with that episode is that they wanted something that I don't think that they had the budget to pull off very well. Which was like an entire episode that is just one long take, but also it's the Fall of Reach. So it was just like a lot of, you know, the camera does a really quick pan to kind of hide the fact that they've cut to a new set. The CGI was kind of out of focus and rushed in a lot of areas, probably because they were, you know, like, you know, the episode was really hard to make, and so those poor VFX artists were probably being forced to do things that were just insane and maybe not well thought out. Like the fight scene with Master Chief and the Elite, it is... something is so off about it because the Elite's color grading, it almost looks like the Elite needed maybe 2 more passes and then he would have fit into the scene well. But then there's also, like, you can see that the camera shake and the Elite are not being tracked correctly, so the Elite will kind of skate along the ground with the camera pan because he wasn't tracked correctly, and all of that screams to me of, like, underpaid, overworked, this needs to be done in a week, like, hurry type stuff. And so that Fall of Reach episode, it's, you know, Forward Unto Dawn, they knew from the beginning, they're like, we don't have the biggest budget in the world, so we are going to hide the Covenant in darkness, in shadow, in fog. We're going to make them like a monster, you know, that's coming out of the dark to get you. But then the Halo show is like, well, we don't have, you know, the biggest budget in the world. We do have like 10 million per episode. Let's make like a Lord of the Rings scale battle every single episode. And let's make one of the episodes one long take with a handheld looking camera that's constantly shaking. Surely the VFX artists will be just fine. And also they'll have about a week to finish these. So it's just, you know, Forward Unto Dawn understood the budget and understood the constraints that they were working under. And the Paramount show, I do not think understood that they weren't able to pull off what they were trying to do with what they had. Hey man, just wanted to say, nice job on the Jackal video. The new editing techniques are much appreciated. I'm glad you think that. I worked pretty hard on that. Really, really hard. $10 million isn't enough? Well, it's... to pull off, like, some of the stuff that they're trying to do, 10 million is one thing, but it's also, like, the time that would be required to do a lot of that stuff. So I'd imagine, like sets and props and all of that stuff would probably be, you'd probably be spending like almost 100 million just like off the bat, and then you've probably also got like the cast and crew, which would really like balloon up the budget. You've got to get extras. You've got to get like remember, like some of that budget, it's not just going into building the sets, it's also paying the crew, renting locations, paying like paying royalties if you're going to be using like you know, certain sound libraries or even pieces of music and stuff. Like there's a lot that like goes into production, and 10 million to do the Fall of Reach one long unbroken shot, like, it doesn't seem like enough time, or not enough time, but also not enough money. And I think the Wraith is where the Wraith sequence in that episode is where I can see that this was not well thought out, because it was like, look out, it's a Wraith, and it's like out of focus, and it's completely CGI, and the CGI looks very unfinished, probably because it was, and it also looks low resolution, which is weird. Like it looks low resolution. That's probably why I assume that they had the Wraith so out of focus, because for whatever reason they had to do it at a lower resolution. And then you've got like cut back to the actors, and they're behind the set, and they're like screaming and holding their battle rifle props or whatever, and then it'll maybe look at the Wraith briefly, and it'll be insanely out of focus, and then the camera will pan back over to the actors on their little set, their little sound stage, and then like the guy just like goes up to it with the grenades, and they don't even show you the explosion. They just do like the white flash, you know, they've got the trash machine, they throw the actor back with a cord, and it's just like, you couldn't even show an explosion. Like, that's how rushed this was.
Another one down.
Stuff your pockets for the next yacht. Well, it doesn't sound like anybody's going to be stuffing their pockets. That's the thing about these like streaming services and stuff. There's no greedy execs. There are desperate, insanely desperate executives who are sweating profusely because they're bleeding money, and they're not making back what they put into these shows, because they desperately want more and more people to sign up for their streaming service, which is still yet to turn a profit. So it's not greed that you see, it is insane desperation. It's like panic.
Tango's closing in.
Hey, Late Night, I just want to say that I love your Jackal video. I like how it's longer. I can learn a lot. I can learn a butt ton more. Also, thank you for my favorite Halo enemy. I'm glad. Were you the one in the comment section constantly pestering me about when the Jackals were going to release? Because if you were, I hope that the final product's satisfied.
Organic material detected.
To give 343 right credit, they've always done right by the hunters. Well, that's a positive way to look at it. Should have just thrown money at Blur Studios. Well, that also, I don't think, would have helped. Because Blur Studio also is not, like... They don't have, like, a massive, unlimited man count, you know? It all depends on if Blur is free. Like, if they aren't working on other projects. I think Blur does the Call of Duty cutscenes now, don't they? And Modern Warfare 3, some of the cutscenes weren't even done by Blur. So I wonder if it's because they were preoccupied with other projects. I mean, Blur's probably going to have a lot more work now that Axis Studio went under, which is insanely sad. I think I'm actually excited for tomorrow since I'm going to be going to Stillwater for a football game after a long time. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's a fun football game, dude. That looks like a good time. LNG, I wanted to say I loved your Jackal video. Usually I listen to your vids while I cook. But I sat down and watched the whole thing. Very nice. Wow, that's that's the nicest thing anyone said. It was that good?
You must stop! The Reformation is at hand!
I worked very hard to make sure that the scene composition was good. I wanted to see if I could bump up the production value to be somewhat documentary-like. And so it involved learning the 180 rule, learning the rules of 3, learning when to do certain camera techniques, when not to do certain camera techniques, you know, the field of view of certain shots, and so it was... If it does feel kind of like, by the time I get to Halo Infinite, shot composition that's probably why. Did a lot of learning.
Organic material detected. Searching.
Minecraft movie thoughts? Oh man. Where's my wife? The Minecraft movie made her mad. She got, like, upset. Like, she doesn't even want to go hate watch it, because, listen, it's going to make a lot of money. It's a Minecraft movie, okay? Like, there is nothing we can do, okay? You might as well see it, because it's going to make money. And I was suggesting that we go see it, to hate watch it. She doesn't want to do that. Like, she got, like, really upset when Jack Black showed up and said, "I am Steve." And I can't say I blame her.
Enemy Spartans are closing in.
Double kill.
Bro is not Steve. No, he's not Steve. And there's this thing. Okay, they did it, the trailer. I assume that's not how the dialogue actually is in the movie, and they edited it in this way for, you know, trailer's sake. But I really, really hate this thing in movie trailers where, as an example, so, you know, the Steve line. He says, "I am Steve." And then it cuts over to them, and they're like, "Ugh, I hate this guy. He's such a toolbag." It's like, because his name is Steve? Why'd that piss you off so much? In the context of the movie. And I assume, you know, they thought it would be funny, because, oh my god, our characters don't take anything seriously. Isn't that what humor is, where nobody takes anything that's happening to them seriously? And I assume in the real movie it's going to be like, "I am Steve. Oh my god, you're Steve, blah, 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 blah." And a whole scene happens, dialogue, jokes, and then he'll say something, like, annoying. Or he'll probably have, like, a quirk with the way he talks, and they get more aggravated by him, and then he's like, "Come with me to my castle," and then he walks off scene, and then they're like, "I hate this guy, he's such a tool bag." But for the sake of the trailer, because they thought that that's comedy, they edited that way, and I hate it, because other trailers do that too, where it's just like a guy will just say something, and then everyone will be like, "Ugh, I can't believe he said that. Oh my god," because they think that's humor in a trailer, and then it's funny. And it's not, it's annoying. It makes the characters seem annoying. Artificially, because it's a trick of the editing. And I wish trailer houses would stop doing that. Hi, my love. I'm telling them about your hatred of the Minecraft movie. And how you don't even want to hate watch it because it made you so mad. Yeah. What is your most anticipated movie of the year? I don't think I have one. What about you, honey?
That's quite enough.
Oh,
Not again.
one of the girls from Twice is doing it. Or is that a show? Oh, Lady Gaga's Joker? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, a little angsty?
Yeah, it's gonna be an angsty little piece and I'm here for it.
It's gonna be a musical.
It's gonna be a sad musical.
Yeah.
Knowing Gaga,
Remember Jonathan, the kid Lewis, was upset?
he was upset.
Remember that it was a musical?
Well, remember, she did like A Star Is Born, and she made that music. It was a musical, but it was also like an angsty little piece.
Well, he's upset because he wanted like a comic book movie. He didn't want like something artsy. Yeah, he's not a girl. He doesn't appreciate like effort. Yeah, it's for the girls and the gays. Nothing really. Well, I wasn't interested in it until you said that it looked cute, and then immediately my interest spiked. And then immediately you're in, because you...
I was like, is that art?
Okay, yeah, see, that's the stuff that made me interested. Like, I'm starting to learn, like, I'm getting pickier and pickier with my movies. But if my wife turns her head at something, that excites me. Because I like going on dates with her to the movies. I freaking love seeing movies with my wife. So,
Sweet, my guy.
yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you. Yeah, so Transformers 1, I wasn't too interested in it because I was like, I know this story. I know Orion Pax. I know Megatron. I know how they met. But then my wife says that it looks like a cute little movie and she loves the designs because she loves the G1 look for the characters. And immediately my interest skyrocketed because I'm like, yeah, RC.
Just look at the damage you're causing with those.
Huh? No, bro is not Steve.
Slow down and allow me to exterminate you.
People seem to think the Minecraft movie needs the Sonic treatment, a makeover. I don't think it can be easily salvageable. Yeah, no, that Minecraft movie it is cooked, it is fully cooked, and they've realized too late that they cooked it with the wrong ingredients. There's no saving that movie. Where the Sonic movie, because Sonic was an entirely CGI character, all they had to do was swap out the asset. Well, that's not a... Someone's making beans? It does smell like burnt beans. Though the only criticism I have is for how Jack Black didn't have a voice filter for Bowser to sound more human. Oh, in the Mario movie? To be fair, it's, that wasn't like, like, it wasn't that Bowser, you know? This was like a Bowser that goes like, what was the song that he sung? Yeah, peaches, peaches, peaches. Like, this is like a Bowser who, like, wears a tuxedo and, like, plays the piano to sing love ballads. Yeah, this is a more humanly Bowser. So, like, you know, he wouldn't be like, peaches, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so you... Yeah, Bowser didn't want to... Yeah, he didn't want to torture anybody. Like, he just wanted a wife.
Victory.
The fact it's just Jack Black in a blue shirt pisses me off. Yeah, it's like, listen, like, there's only so much you can work with, because Steve has, like, his face probably has, like, 24 squares on it, and that's all they use to make up the detail. But it's like, come on, guys. Like, it was just Jack Black in a blue t-shirt. Like, even I can see a bit more character. Like, Steve is supposed to look, it's supposed to look like a guy who survived a shipwreck, you know? Steve has, like, a bit of a ripped up shirt. He's got a bit of a beard going on. Like, you know, you get it. Okay. They still haven't fixed this bug? How do you fix this? Do you switch to the campaign and then back or something? Here, we'll hop into the tutorial for a quick second. Maybe that'll reset it. But this easy anti-cheat bug. Would you and your wife just do a stream talking about Transformers?
Yes, honey.
Yeah, my wife says, yes, honey. And she is currently restoring a Tamagotchi. She's retro-brighting it. So, you know the Tamagotchi, it's like yellowed from age? She is restoring the original...
Tamagotchi plus color.
It's the Tamagotchi plus color. She is restoring the original color of the plastic.
Your orders are to report to the
You're-
training
you're-
arena
she's
for drills and the
unsoldering
live fire
some.
exercise. The waypoints on your HUD will point you in the...
Yeah, it should have been the YouTuber Pink Sheep from Exploding TNT. It's... Man, that Minecraft movie. It should have been animated, like fully animated. Yeah, that fixed it. Good morning, says Mendikin117. I'm excited for Sonic 3. Dude, I'm so ready for Sonic 3.
You mean Shadow 1?
Yeah, I mean, my wife's right. Actually, it's Shadow 1. I am excited. I'm also excited about the Shadow game that's coming out around the time of my birthday that also comes bundled with Sonic Generations. It's about damn time that people started taking Shadow a little bit more seriously.
He's sexy.
Yeah. Shadow's sexy. Somebody's gonna clip that. Have you tried Warhammer? I have not, because I unfortunately have nobody to play it with on the Xbox, but I've heard it's a very good time, and that bums me out.
I'll play that shit with you.
It's not co-op, or it's not split screen. That means we need 2 copies.
Hell no.
Yeah. Oof.
Smells like some beans.
Yeah, that smells like some beans.
Who's making beans at this time?
Who the hell is cooking beans? You seen the new H3 were? What Halo 3 world record? Is that what that stands for? Have you tried Guilty Gear? Not only have I not tried it, I have no clue what Guilty Gear is. Guilty Gear Survive? What's it called? Did you see the mad lad who recreated the trailer in 24 hours to actually look like Minecraft? I did see it a little bit. I don't know. There's just nothing they could have done. Because, you know, even like the Minecraft story mode, you know, where the characters have like those creepy eyeballs that like look around and the mouths open up. I don't even like that look for Minecraft characters. Like, that's too much detail and too much animation. Like, Minecraft to me will always be the kind of laggy looking block characters with their limbs just swinging back and forth, and that's the walking animation. It's just, I don't know. Never put me in charge of a Minecraft movie, because I'd probably do a terrible job at it. Yeah, I don't know. Halo CEA should have been in Halo 3's engine 100%. Well, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was 2011. So by then, Halo 3's technology would have been... Well, it would have been over half a decade out of date. Like, the industry was already moving towards new forms of rendering and stuff, and so a lot of the things Halo 3 was doing at the time were outdated. Arguably, when Halo 3 came out, its graphics were pretty dated. And it was disguised by an incredibly, incredibly carefully constructed lighting engine. Not even lighting engine, more like... Yeah, I guess it kind of is lighting. But also color grading. And just art direction. You know, Bungie's artists, they were operating at, like, peak power levels at that time. Because Halo 3 is a lot worse looking of a game than it looks. And the reason it doesn't look that bad is because of the incredible art direction that masked a lot of the graphical deficiencies of that game.
Another one down.
Your team is close to total control.
What's the biggest plot thread of Halo? Biggest plot thread? Like, most important? I'm not sure. I guess the Human Covenant War, like, in terms of, in terms of just, like, Halo as a brand.
Their shields.
Maybe? I don't know. Is the Human Covenant War even a plot thread? Or is that more of a setting? I think if they were ever to do a Halo show, they should have done it in an animated style, since there's more movement to over-exaggerate things. Yes, I agree 100%. I don't think Halo should ever be photorealistic. I think Halo thrives when it's a little bit more exaggerated, a little bit more stylized. Not quite Covenant, or not quite, not Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo Wars 1 cutscenes. You know, where it's like, it looks pretty good, but they definitely don't look photorealistic, you know? Like, there are some exaggerations to characters' proportions. It doesn't quite look like real life, and because of that, you can have characters break the laws of physics a little bit more during action sequences, or emoting, or for dramatic effect, you know? I think of when the Arbiter in Halo Wars, when Professor Anders is like, "Don't hurt him! I'll come with you! Just don't kill him!" And then the Arbiter puts away his energy sword and grabs her by the throat and literally drags her away by her throat. Where if it wasn't for the fact that the cutscene looked kind of cartoony, that would have been a lot more gruesome than it was. You know, like, it would have been, like, borderline uncomfortable. But because it was a little bit cartoony looking, it did come across more of just like, oh man, he's really evil. Like, less like, oh my gosh, he's gonna, like, actually hurt her spine because she looks like a real person. Kind of hate how the grappling basically negates any previously existing velocity. What do you mean? I guess the logic of the grappling hook in this game makes sense to me. Like, it doesn't feel like this... It doesn't feel like poorly implemented. I mean, the actual, like, you know, gameplay of it, impact of it, you can discuss. But, the way that it... like, it feels good to use. And the weight and velocity and trajectory makes sense to me.
Lost a teammate!
Halo 3 has insane bloom and how it contrasts with the environment perfectly. Yes. Halo 3 has insane levels of bloom, but it also has a simulated HDR, high dynamic color range effect, where it's like if you step inside, everything is super, super dark. Like, really dark for a couple of seconds, and then the light levels will start to adjust. Kind of like simulating how your eyes adjust. You know, and then if you step outside, it's actually blinding for a couple of seconds, and then that tones down, and then you have more visual clarity. And because of the way that they did it, it doesn't come across like a cheap-looking, you know, post-processing effect. It actually feels like natural, the way that the engine is simulating that. So it's actually like hard to notice that the engine is actually doing that, because it's simulating how your eyes actually adjust to lighting conditions in such an authentic way that it's like, well, yeah, that looks natural. It is a little bit bugged on the MCC though. It adjusts at an accelerated rate depending on your frame rate. On Xbox 360, 30 frames per second, that is the intended way that the HDR is supposed to look, like the timing for the color, or for the lighting adjustment. And then on MCC, it's a little bit too fast at 60 FPS, and then at an unlocked frame rate, it's like almost broken looking. It looks like the game is constantly raising and lowering the brightness in this really distracting way. It looks kind of odd on the MCC. The Halo Wars Arbiter looks really odd in this weird way. His mouth freaks me out. Oh, in a good way. Yeah, it's, so at that time, you know, the elites, they were kind of like, think of it like a sausage, or like a worm, with, like, little fingers on the side of the worm. You know, they didn't really have, like, I guess, jaws, so to speak. Like, their head shape was a lot more kind of like a worm. And then for Halo Wars, that was, like, the Arbiter looked really different compared to the other elites, because they made his mandibles, like, hang off of his face. Like, they were, like, drooping, and it almost made him look kind of, like, dog-like, with the way that he'd, like, sneer. It was done, you know, for, like, facial expressions, like, to give him a little bit more expressiveness. But then, you know, by the time of Halo 2 Anniversary, they kind of went all in on the, like, finger-like mandibles, where they were kind of like fingers, and they'd curl up around the mouth to kind of simulate, you know, a person closing their mouth when they are done speaking, to give them a bit more human facial expressions, you know, for the cutscenes. Yeah, I really like the look of the Halo Wars Arbiter. His weird, like, droopy, like, I should have stayed in bed mandibles.
Your team is close to total control.
Damn it, I missed. Arbiter hot dog head. Yeah, that's the good way to put it. Like, the elites were just, they were just silly little hot dog heads, you know? Ah, he got me. Did you see that? He got me. He teleported. He literally teleported right behind me and said, "Nice try, kid." What's up, man? Playing Space Marine 2 with the boys. Haven't had this much fun in the game in years. 100% recommend it. Oh, man. I'd be playing Space Marine 2 on the Xbox if I had the game. And if I had friends to play it with.
That shot got way too many of us.
Your team is close to total control.
You know what I would have done for... Okay. Get rid of the Minecraft movie. Here's what we're going to do. Minecraft the TV show. And here's how it's going to be. It's not going to have a story. It's not going to be animation. It's going to be actors and celebrities drop... Like, we're going to rent out a football stadium, okay? We are going to have, like, 20 feet or so of blocks of dirt underneath everybody. And then we're also going to make block trees and everything. We're going to have, at night, people in silly creeper costumes come out. And, like, skeletons and zombies. And the actors need to survive for, like, 20 days in this massive football stadium recreation of Minecraft. And they can, like... They have to physically make their dirt huts and stuff, you know? That's what I would do. Minecraft the Survival series.
You've got new zones incoming.
And it would be like, oh my god, Robert Pattinson. He's like digging. Oh my god, he found diamond. Like, oh no, Gwyneth Paltrow got killed by a creeper. She's out.
Zones are ready for capture.
Like, that's what I'd do. The new Forerunner style does have its place in the universe. It has to be a bit less flashy. Well, the new Forerunner style looks ripped out of Halo 1. You're talking about Infinite, right? Yeah, but I'd love your thoughts on how
Enemy got a
I'd do
multi-kill.
Minecraft.
That sword bearer's cutting us up.
Enemy Spartans are closing in.
What are your thoughts on 343's Banshee design? Ever since Halo 4, the wings seem to get more and more flat. I think it makes them more human than alien in design. Well, we can take a look at them. I actually have some interesting thoughts on the designs for the Banshees. For reference, my favorite Banshee design is Halo 1's Banshee. I guess Halo 1 through 3, like, because it kind of was unchanged throughout the trilogy, the silhouette at least. But I'm a big old sucker for the ice cream cone shape, and then the gigantic circular thrusters at the end of the wings. I'm a big sucker for that look. I really like it a lot. But the design that was introduced in Reach, and then they reused the model in Halo 4. That design is probably more aerodynamic, which is why they went with that design. Like, it probably makes more sense realistically. And there's probably also, a couple other reasons for why. I could probably do research, maybe find the guy who did the concept art for Reach. I think 343's new style for the Forerunner stuff is amazing. I love the flashing colors. Yeah, it's pretty good looking. I not sure if I like the graininess of it, but I imagine the graininess of it was probably done partially so that they could, like, artificially have a lower quality particle effect. I'll have to ask one of the VFX artists at 343 about that, actually. He probably has some insight onto why. But what I really like about this look is I like that it looks like a nebula. Like it's got very cosmic colors mixed in there. Okay, so here we'll pull up if you're interested. I got some opinions here. Halo Reach Banshee. So there's the Reach Banshee, right? Here's the original. See, I like the big thrusters. And I like the ice cream cone like thing here. You know, it's very like it reminds me of Alien almost, just like the big dome. I like this look. I like it a lot. It's my favorite look for the Banshee. But then in Reach, they made it a little bit more compact, like a little bit less thin and kind of scrawny, and they kind of compacted it up a little bit. It probably also is easier to shoot at for gameplay purposes. And the cockpit is also a lot bigger. And they probably did that, honestly, just to make it look more plausible as an aircraft. As well as, you know, a couple other reasons. So it's I call this the tongue look. So this is the ice cream cone, okay? Because it looks kind of like, you know, I guess it looks more like a chicken leg. But I'm going to call it an ice cream cone. And then this is more like a tongue. That's what the hood of the Banshee reminds me of. And then Halo 4 straight up reused the exact model. And all they did was recolor it to fit the look for the Covenant in that game. And then as you can see here, Halo 5, they kept the general silhouette of the tongue, but what they did was they actually remodeled it to make it more in line with the aesthetic of the Covenant in the Reclaimer saga. Because for Halo 4, if I could be misremembering, okay, but it was explained to me that the reason, if you think about it, the Needler, the plasma pistol, the Ghost, the Phantoms, the Banshees, etc., the reason all of those in Halo 4 are reusing Reach models is because Halo 4 on the Xbox 360 just, like, you know, the Reach models, they look good enough, and they're optimized to run on an Xbox 360, while giving the illusion of a lot of detail. Well, some of the more ambitious ideas that they had, like this for the Banshee, for the new Covenant, they couldn't... This is a little bit too much for a 360. And so they held back a lot of their designs for Halo 5 and kept iterating on them and refining them and stuff. And they just opted to use Reach assets for Halo 4. This thing, I actually quite like the look of it, and I do wish that it was in Halo 4 from the start, because it could have actually helped separate the Covenant in Halo 4 from the Covenant from Halo, you know, the original Halo trilogy quite a bit. Because the goal for, you know, Kenneth Scott's new art direction, Kenneth Scott, Halo 4. The goal for Kenneth Scott's new art direction for Halo was he wanted more of a focus on the alien aspect of the aliens. He wanted them to be more bug-like. He wanted an emphasis on almost like... So the idea was, what if the Covenant, they don't build their armor, they grow it organically, almost like a coral or like a shell, you know, of a beetle, where it's something that has to be like grown. And that's why it's so, you can see it's very, very organic looking. And so I think that the, yeah, like overgrown, organic, insectoid, beetle-y. And so for the Halo 5 Banshee, I actually think this thing fits that aesthetic goal perfectly. And what also helps about it is, here, let's go over to the Phantom quickly. Not my preferred look for the Phantom, you know, but you could see this Phantom with some of those Halo 5 Banshees flying side by side, and they all sync up perfectly, you know? They fit perfectly. Like, it's more artistically cohesive with the art direction redesign that they went for. And then, this is an interesting story that I actually learned from Sparth when I was at 343 back in 2018. He took over from Kenneth Scott as art director. He told me that the Halo 5 Wraith, what they wanted was, like, for mechanical purposes, the Wraith was being sped up a little bit, and it was going to become more of like a strike craft type thing. Like, think of it like a compromise between the classic Wraith and the Revenant? The Revenant, right? From Halo Reach. The like mini Wraith. I think that's what it was called. So they basically a Wraith but faster. And it was taller as well, much, much taller. They got rid of the hot dog bun here, Halo Wraith. They got rid of the classic hot dog bun up here, you know, that like opens up and then the turret comes out, and instead it's kind of like this very tall looking thing that glides around the battlefield. And they actually realized that they were drifting very far away from the silhouette of the classic Wraith. You can see here the way it like curls up almost like a scorpion. And they were actually considering, honestly, just not having a Wraith in Halo 5 and giving that vehicle a new name because of how different it was starting to look from how the Wraith traditionally looks. So yeah, that's the story. And then we've got Halo Banished Banshee. There's two different Banished Banshees. This is the one I like, because as you can see, it is the Halo Combat Evolved Banshee, but it's been banished. And this is the one that they went with in Halo Infinite, which is... Here, let's see if we can get a different view of it. Oh, here we go. This is the art station of the guy who worked on it. As you can see here, look, there's like metal plates, but you can see underneath those metal plates, what this essentially is an HD, high-quality 4K 1-to-1 recreation of the Halo Reach Banshee model. And then, in order to make it more banished, they added plates over top of it. So if you were to remove those plates, what you'd have is a flawless 4K recreation of the Reach model. Yeah, so there we go. LNG, you need to do a warthog impression in your evolution of the warthog. Oh man, you know what I'm gonna have to do? She's sitting there looking very beautiful, but when we do the evolution of the warthog, I'm gonna have to be the engine and the vroom, 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 and she's gonna have to be the turret. I'll see if I can talk my wife into doing it with me.
Total control. Capture all zones to score.
What do you think about the new studio art director, Chris Matthews? Do you think he'll deliver? Chris Matthews, let's see. Chris Matthews art. Senior environment artist. Oh, well, it doesn't look like he's an art director. It looks like he's just art. Is this even the same guy? If somebody wants to verify if he is actually, like, senior art director. Because environment art director is very different. Or senior environment art lead is very different from art director, you know.
Enemy there.
I feel like the new Banshee would just be too heavy and slow. I don't think the elites would have ever approved of those modifications, even in the Banished. Well, it all depends on if it's also supposed to function differently, you know, as a vehicle. Because at least from a sandbox standpoint, the Banshee kind of occupies a different, it occupies kind of like a different role in the gameplay loop. No, I can't even say that because, not Josh Holmes. Oh man, Josh Holmes' studio got closed. Not Josh Holmes. What's his name? Quindle Hoyle. He mentioned wanting the Banshee to be a strike craft with the Wasp here being more of like a VTOL. But ironically, the Wasp functions more like a strike craft in this game. Because it moves so much faster. So you can kind of like zip around. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. It is... That's part of why I don't like it as much as the Halo Wars 2 one, is just because it does look a little bit clunkier. And Banshees, I always think of them like screeching through the air and just kind of looking like these weird alien bird things, you know?
Ready with the repair field.
That shot got way too many of us.
Do you think 343's new people will screw up Halo again? I'd imagine that there's probably going to be a lot of scrutiny on the studio.
Your enemy is nearing
To
total
not
control.
screw up. And there's probably... Now, I know this is crazy, okay? There's probably a lot of lessons learned. They learned some very expensive and costly lessons. And I also think, because of the situation Xbox is in, where, you know, Microsoft just footed, like, almost $50 billion. Like, Xbox needs to make money. There's no more screwing around, you know? But, you know, on the other side, it's very tough, I think, for 343 to make games just because of, like, that Microsoft... Like, everybody is a contractor. Because, like, how are you supposed to grow a team if the team can only stay on board for about 18 months, you know? Like, the reason the Bungie games got better and better and better, you know, subjectively, is that they weren't, you know, the studio stuck together. So the folks who worked on Halo 1 got better. And then for Halo 2, you know, they brought their A game. And then for Halo 3, they brought their A+ game. And for Halo ODST and Reach and blah, blah, blah. Like, you can't really get that, you know, if it's constantly like a revolving door of talent. Like, nobody grows, nobody learns. All I can hope is that the switch to the Unreal Engine means that the onboarding process is a lot quicker and that the leads have a more focused direction. Because I think that was the biggest problem with Halo Infinite, is not really knowing what kind of game they wanted to make until it was crunch time, baby. The Halo Infinite energy sword looks so pretty. Just wish it was on Halo 3 levels of brightness. It's... the same fella, Forrest Baker, who I spoke to about the Jackal shields. I did get a chance, guys, to actually talk to him about the energy sword, and I showed him some reference images that I had. You know, and, like, kind of asking what's going on with the energy sword. He also thinks that the energy sword, you know, the silhouette of it is very cool, but there are some presentation problems with it. The way he explained it to me was that there are some transparency issues, sorting issues with the sword, depending on level to level, you know. There's some bugs associated with it. Also, you know, a lot of stuff of, like, you know, the poor artists trying to figure out how to get the engine to do certain things for them, and basically it's like, close enough, that works. And it's like, not ideal, but at least they finally got it done. as well as the energy effect that comes off of it, which is a transparency, that might be misaligned. So it might be slightly
Your
off.
team is close to total control.
You know, he's gonna look into it and get back to me. And it's not even clear if it's like something that, you know, there's enthusiasm about fixing, just because, you know, there's so
Your
much
team
that
is
does
close
have to be worked
total
on.
control.
But I guess knowing,
Your team
being
has
able to
total control.
articulate what looks a little bit
You've
off
got
about
new
it
zones incoming.
helps with making sure next time they're able to really, really stick the landing. Because I do love the silhouette that they gave the energy sword in this game. Can I have a shout out? Asks Bonked Dog. There you go, buddy.
New zones are ready for capture.
This is a rushdown hammer, so I can run a little bit faster with this. Oh, guess what? Rebecca finally saw Silence of the Lambs.
Your enemy is nearing total control.
I dislike the Wasp, in my opinion. It doesn't really match the human vibe of the rest of the sandbox. I would have much preferred the Hornet, not even the Falcon. Sort of. I get what you mean. A lot of the Covenant vehicles are the ones that are more like
Your enemy is
singular,
nearing total control.
where the human vehicles are usually more built around cooperation. You know, because the logic being you're going to have like Marines with you in a level, you want to load them up into the thing, take them with you, or you're playing co-op. You know, where the Covenant, they are all kind of like, you know, they're attacking you. They don't, it's just them. They're not really coordinating. They're AI, you know? So I do get that. And I actually do share some of the same opinions.
Double kill.
I think what's a little bit more frustrating is during production, the way it was described to me was there was a vehicle that was being worked on that was a brute aircraft. And it was like a multi-seated brute aircraft that was kind of like a VTOL. And it would launch like heavy explosives. So it didn't really have like machine guns or anything, I don't think at least. But it was like heavy ordnance, and it would kind of hover around in the sky. Think like the Phaeton from Halo 5, but slower and with multiple seats, so that multiple brutes could be kind of on it. And it was almost like just a sky barge for the brutes that would hover around, launching stuff at you. And that was scrapped.
Enemies over there.
Imagine if the plasma effect is more gory, like specific body parts the plasma comes into contact with get evaporated. Well, keep in mind, teen rating, they don't want to break that. But that would be... I don't know if Halo is, like, gory, though. I don't know if, you know, like, blowing body parts off of a grunt. Like, maybe in a comic, you know, but at least for the games, that seems like a little bit much. For even the Bungie Halo games. God damn it. I can't believe I whiffed all of those shots. For some reason, I thought they were going to add assassinations into this game, but it looks like 343 chose not to. Huh. Well, it's not that they chose not to, it's more that, it's more that the animation system the Halo 5 used, that Assassinations used, like being able to kind of like attach yourself to another player and then you and the player get locked into this very, like, very sophisticated animation set that involves, like, the two
New
characters
zones
now.
are ready
Like,
for capture.
believe it or not, like, two characters, like, exchanging things between each other. And, like, you know, tossing things to each other, grabbing each other, throwing each other around. That actually is, like, really complex. And requires a lot of work.
Your team
And
is
the
close to
system that they
total
had
control.
for assassinations was chucked because it was very kind of, like, clunky under the hood and very difficult to work with for Halo 5 because it kind of, you know, retained a lot of the legacy code dating all the way back to Reach, and so they threw it out and began redoing it for Halo Infinite. One of the fruits that was born from that was the way that the campaign, they were able to kind of, like, seamlessly detach the camera from Master Chief's first-person view and go into that third-person, like, cinematic floaty cam. But also assassinations, unfortunately, you know, had to be thrown out because you've got to now redevelop the assassination
Your team is
system
close
for
to
this new
total control.
animation system. And they just didn't have the time to do it. You know, maybe next game they'll get it back in, but by then they'll have moved to a completely different game
Your team is
engine,
close
so
to total control.
it'll probably be there. I'd imagine the Unreal Engine probably already has stuff that's, like, built into it. Dude, this listen, guys, don't sleep on this variant of the frickin' disruptor, okay? If you see in Firefight the little grunt Bip-Bap who runs around with this thing, kill him, focus on him, prioritize him. Because that thing, all you have to do is land, like, 2 shots on a brute, and the brute's dead. And maybe his buddy, too. Like, that thing is nuts. One thing I find weird about the assassination is that they just leave you exposed to the enemy until the animation is finished.
Your enemy
Most of
is
the time,
near
I'd get the
total control.
assassination, and then I'd die right after. I mean, you know, it's all about flexing. Because what's nice about the assassinations is you don't have to do that. If you want to, just punch, you know, and you'll do a back smack to kill them. If you hold down that punch button, though, that's what gets you the assassination. So it's like a risk versus reward type thing. Like, if you want, if you don't have the time for it, just give them a
1 minute
back
remaining.
smack. But if you're feeling particularly nasty, then you can go for the assassination. You know, and maybe if you've timed it well, you can actually get it done and also keep your head down and get back into the fight.
Spartan down.
Your enemy is nearing total control.
It's like the execution in Gears of War. Yeah.
Tango's closing in. Down there.
And it also does provide moments of like, you know, just super highs. Because it's very hard to pull those off, assassinations. So when it does happen, it's pretty exciting. I remember when Reach came out and assassinations were the new thing.
Victory
And,
is yours.
God, me and my buddies, we'd go into custom games, and we'd just stand around and, like, marvel at how cool they were. And even in the campaign, you know, we were constantly trying to get assassinations because we thought they were just so cool, man. Like, it was a new feature, you know, it wasn't there in Halo 3, ODST, Halo 2, Halo 1. Reach was the first game with assassinations. It was new. We wanted to see it. We were going crazy about it. It's hard to think like that, you know, because assassinations had been a part of Halo for so long, but there was a point where assassinations were new, and it was pretty cool. Ah. I'm pretty sure the Halo 1 jackals aren't related to the 2 or 3 jackals. They look like they might be the Halo 4 and Halo 5 jackals' cousins. Yeah, the Halo 1 jackal does have a bit in common with the Halo 4 jackal. I'm thinking of like the shorter necks, the glands on the side, even the snout shape. It's somewhat. There is still a little bit more DNA shared between the Halo 2 jackal and the Halo C jackal than like the Halo C jackal and Halo 4 jackal, but I would imagine that they probably did take a lot of inspiration from like the roots, you know, going back to the very first game and looking at that version of the jackal. Here, let's go to... oh, I guess we're playing another match. I was going to say let's play some Firefight. Hey LNG, I just wanted to stop by and say I found your channel recently and I've been binging. You've gotten me to start making stuff again by replaying Halo. I appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. That's awesome. I'm glad that you like the videos. I love how cool the Halo 4 jackal looks. Yeah, the Halo 4 jackal is a awesome bit of creature design. It's a cool looking little animal. I wish that 343 would bite the bullet and just make them a new species. Like, don't make them Kigyar, don't make them jackals. Give them a new name, make them a new species of alien.
Capture all zones to score.
Because it is a cool creature design. I don't think it fits the personality and identity of a jackal. But there's enough there in both the personality and the look of the Halo 4 jackal that it would be a bummer if that was just thrown out. You know, canonize that thing as a new species of creature. Not even sure what you'd call them. Because, okay, we got Jackal, Grunt, Hunter. There isn't really like a connecting thread between how Covenant creatures are named, you know? It's just kind of like a whatever, like whatever fits. Even the Hunter doesn't make a lot of sense. Why is it a Hunter? It doesn't hunt you. It's more of a heavy tank unit, you know? I'm trying to think what you would call those things. It's like, just make them not Kigyar. Give them and designate them as a new species of creature. Throw them into the combat loop, man. I'd be down for them to be a new species over the jackals, but make them from the same planet, like Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well. Have it be like, you know, not divergent evolution. That's not the term for it. But, you know, kind of like how we humans, Homo sapiens, almost had a sister species of intelligent humanoids that were evolved from monkeys. And they were called Neanderthals. And they looked like from like remains, you know, fossilized remains and stuff that we have. They looked basically like people, almost exactly, just with slightly bigger foreheads. And like slightly bigger foreheads and kind of flatter but wider faces. But other than that, it was like 5 fingers, 5 toes. You know, average height was 5 foot something. Like they were just like us. Their faces just looked a little bit squashed. And unfortunately, they died out. Their species went extinct. And, you know, Homo sapiens, they did survive. And they kept evolving and evolving and eventually got to us. It's like, it would be cool if the Halo 4 Jackal design, they were kind of like, you know, the Neanderthals to the Kigyar's Homo sapien, so to speak. Because the subspecies excuse, that doesn't make, that's not how subspecies work in the real world, okay? Like, that's not how it actually works. Like, there are enough morphological differences between the Bungie style of Jackal and the Halo 4 Jackal that if a actual researcher or expert were to take a look at like skeletons, they'd say that they would classify them as different animals. I'm learning more about monkey here than my history class. Yeah, monkey are pretty cool, man. Someone could probably clarify this for me. I read a while ago that in the wild it was observed that a species of gorilla have entered the Stone Age, where they're starting to use stone tools. But it's like, it probably, unfortunately, won't go anywhere because they just, like this planet's ours, you know? It's like how humans and Chiss in Star Wars are different human subspecies. They're actually just humans with blue skin. Yeah, sort of. Because that's the wildest thing about me. Researching that video on the jackals, I had no clue. So like dogs, you know, they all look so different from each other. I've got a Shih Tzu behind me that is sleeping, and it's freaking hilarious to think that that guy is related to like a wolf, and I've got like a little teddy bear right here. But if you look at the skull of a Shih Tzu and the skull of a wolf, they're exactly the same. The only difference is it almost looks like somebody took like the Sims 4's character creator and like messed around with the values of the nose, you know, shrunk the nose down a little bit like that. It's the proportions of the skull that make dog breeds look different. They're still all under the hood, so to speak, canines. And with the Jackal in Halo 4, I mean, not just the underbite, but the type of teeth, the type of eyes, the position of the eyes, where they rest on the head. Like, the body is mostly the same, but that head is so different that it's just, it can't be Kigyar, realistically, if you did want to treat the Jackal like it's a real creature. And that's why I'm like, do it 343. Make it a new animal. Make it a new species of Covenant creature. And then throw them into the combat loop for us. Come on, it'll only make the Halo universe bigger.
Target spotted.
I think calling the Reclaimer Saga Jackals mockers. I'm not sure. Because, you know, the grunts aren't called fleers. Or little scaredy cats, you know? Like, well, what we'd probably have to do is we'd probably have to think about a role for the Jackal. I don't necessarily even mind, like, the Halo 4 Jackal carrying the shields, you know, because they fit well into that combat loop. You can think of it kind of like the Skirmisher, how the Skirmisher is a subspecies of Kigyar. So they're all Jackals, but the Skirmisher fills a completely different role. You know, to the point that sometimes there's crossover between Skirmisher snipers and Jackal snipers. So you could totally have those things carrying around Jackal shields and stuff. Just I'm trying to think of what you would call them. They would fit their role. And what they would primarily do. You should play the Saving Dust and Echoes MCC mod. Oh my god. They made that. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Enemy shields down.
Halo 4 and 5 grunts look way too humanoid. I get what you mean. After this match, if you guys want me to be super nerdy and detailed, I can actually tell you what they did with Halo 4 to change up its character and, like, you know, why the Halo 4, and not in like a critical way of they missed the point, blah, blah, blah. More of just like, here's like you want to know what's different about them, here, this is specifically what's changed and why they do feel different. And it's kind of interesting. The guy, he's up here. Let's get him. What's his name? Banana Beans? Oh, Behen's Beans.
Pop their shields.
Straight rock. Damn it. Okay. That was a fun little crazy. I was also looking at the chat, so I wasn't really focusing too much. The skirmishers in Infinite feel nice. The fact that they are all female in the game is immersive. It is a cool way to incorporate. Because Destiny, as an example, Destiny has started to include, like, female versions of some of the alien. Because, like, you know, Destiny 1, it was like... It did the thing that a lot of action games do, which is weird when you stop and think about it, but all enemies, all enemy combatants are all men. Think about, like, I noticed it in the Division 1 after playing the Division 2, but it's really fucking weird. That, like, it's only the guys that went crazy and started killing people in the streets. And it wasn't until Division 2, and it's like, yeah, I guess some women would also go crazy and start looting as well. It's so in like the entire Halo series, it's all men on the enemy's side. And Destiny was the same way, you know, because that's how it is. Listen, what are men if not bad guys to shoot at? And Destiny 2 has started to incorporate female aliens, but they do it in the laziest way possible, which is the model is identical, the voices are identical. There is nothing different about it. But you'll just have a voiceover of a character going, "You have to stop her. She's a very dangerous leader in the army. Take her down." And it's like this masculine looking alien that looked like all the other masculine aliens, and it's like rah, 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 rah. Like that's the voice. I'm like, okay Bungie, sure. So I appreciate that Halo Infinite actually like put in an effort to make the inclusion of, like, finally here's like a female version of one of these aliens, and here's how they fight in combat, and here's what they sound like, and it's like, that's pretty cool. Actually, it does feel more immersive.
Double kill.
Could you imagine if we see like female grunts and they are almost exclusively the ones who pilot the vehicles or something? Or they're all the ones that carry the fuel rod cannons or something? Do you think the Wet Navy has any place in Halo games?
Your team is close to
Yeah.
total control.
Yeah, you know what? I do. The thing that people would probably be concerned about is that boat combat would just feel like a warthog, but the floor is lava. You know what I'm thinking? Remember in Halo 3 when you have to fly across that massive ocean in the Hornet? That was basically the floor is lava. Like, floor is lava vehicle sequences can work just fine, and I'd imagine that's how you do water combat. So it's like, who cares if it kind of feels like you're just in a warthog that's a little bit bouncy and the floor is lava? Is the presentation at least cool? If so, then I'd say it's worth it. People would be talking for years about, like, remember that fucking Halo level where you get in the boat?
Your team has total control. You got new zones incoming.
I could totally imagine, like, think of, like, Halo Infinite's open world. Now imagine lakes. Okay? Imagine that there's an island that you have to get to, and there's a lot of water. There's banshees flying overhead, and the island is lined with AA guns. And then it's like you get into the little boat and you got a Marine on the gunner, you know, it's gun it, chief, you know, and the things like like bouncing on the waves and stuff like that, you know, the machine guns like shooting at the banshees overhead, you know. Here, I'll give you some more sounds. And the guns are going pew, 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 and they're like shooting at you, and it's like, we're almost at the beachhead, chief. We gotta take out those burn and bear if we want to land. Let's do this, Marines. You know, you got some Marines with their rocket launchers going whoosh. You know? Yeah, it would be cool. I'm playing with toys in my own brain right now. You know, when the Banshee's like, no, that's a TIE fighter. No, I'm thinking of TIE fighters now. And then Darth Vader's like, and then Master Chief's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. And he throws Darth Vader into the sun.
You got new zones incoming.
That would be a Halo level people would talk about for years.
You've won. Excellent work, Spartan.
Alright, now we'll look for firefight. You could call the Halo 4 Jackals Raiders. That's perfect. 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 They're Raiders. That's what we'll call them. Alright, why is he dying so much in my gameplay? Oh, it's because I'm reading the chat. So when I'm like running around and then suddenly I like stop moving, you know, or I'm like kind of looking around aimlessly and a guy comes around the corner and starts shooting and I'm not shooting back, chances are it's because I'm looking at the screen or at the chat and I'm reading something. So we got that anti-cheat bug again. Let's hop into the tutorial and then hop back out. Did you hear about James Earl Jones? I did. That sucks a lot. Grunts should stay men. If they're going to add more girl aliens, then they should take advantage of that to make more aliens. Well, I think they've already opened the door with the skirmisher, which I thought was actually a very clever way of introducing female jackals. Where it's like the male jackals are the typical jackals, where females take the role of skirmishers. And I thought that was very clever. And I could see that done with grunts as well. You'd take the grunts and figure out which roles you want to be the female grunts. And then you could have the lines for them tailored specifically. Yeah, I'm just thinking right now. Good stuff, you know? It's fun ideas. We saw the Banished made some headway on Earth. It would make sense to have some combat sequences there in the next game if we return to UNSC space. I'm not sure if the Banished did. I know that opening cutscene had the Banished on Earth, you know, for the multiplayer at least. But it's very hard to figure out what that's supposed to be, you know? Because it's like, okay, there's two possibilities. It's either the Banished occupying Earth, in which case Spartan Agrenia grew up into a woman, became a Spartan, and then lost a leg, and then became a drill instructor in less than a year? Or it was the Covenant occupation of Earth, in which case she grew up into a woman, became a Spartan, lost her leg, and became a drill instructor over the course of 5 years, which is also a very short amount of time. And also, I guess, Spartan 4s were around during Halo 3. Like, the canonicity of that cutscene is very odd.
Set, start. Hill
Not quite sure what it's
incoming.
supposed to be, you know?
Hill ready.
There we go.
Hill control. Reinforcements.
Oh, I didn't even see this guy here. Let me get him up. I haven't noticed she doesn't have a leg. Yeah, she's a cyborg lady. She's got a robot leg.
Killing spree. Double kill.
She probably got her leg blown off by a suicide grunt.
Reinforcements. Killing friends.
Which that's also something about Halo.
Hill.
It's
Guardian. Triple
okay.
kill.
It is silly, in my opinion, that the robot parts just are not armored at all. Because I feel like if you had like a prosthesis,
Running right.
I'd be willing to bet that it's not as durable as Spartan armor. And that you'd probably still have to integrate it to an extent with Spartan armor to get like the full feature set of Mjolnir, you know? Because some of it also is it enhances your strength. And, you know, if you've basically wearing like Mjolnir armor with only one pant leg, you know, only one of your legs is going to be super weak. So it is weird to me in Halo Infinite that when you select a robot part, it's just like it's just exposed. Like you can't. I mean, it would be silly if it's like, yes, I have a prosthesis. No, you can't see it. Like at that point, it's like, why even select it? But hopefully, what I'm saying makes sense. I'd like to see those prostheses armored up a little bit. Looking like they were integrated into the Mjolnir, you know?
Incoming.
You know, and in Cat's defense, at least when I was a kid, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be taken this way, Cat's armor looks very, like, scrapped together. Like, it looks like she lost a limb and then built herself a prosthetic hand. Because, like, the prosthetic hand is very, like, exposed, and it's very, it's got, like, that spinning thing on it. It just looks very, like, assembled and not, you know, like, official from the UNSC, I guess. Because in Halo Infinite, a lot of the prosthetics actually look more like, medically grafted onto the people who need them.
Reinforcements.
With Cats, at least since I was a kid, I always got the impression that, like, you know, she's the tech guy for Noble Team, so she probably made that arm herself.
Reinforcements.
feel like the Swords of Sanguinius are currently the most stable faction. Yeah, I hope Arbiter's having a good rest, man.
Cluster love.
He earned it. He's been through so much. Let him sleep. You know what's super... So, I've been playing, you know, Destiny 2, and unfortunately Lance Riddick passed away, the voice of Zavala. And Keith David has taken his place. And it's very... Keith David, bless his heart, he's doing his best, but he's not Lance Riddick, you know? Like Lance Riddick, that man had a voice of God. And what is, though, exciting about Keith David doing Zavala, so many Zavala lines, and if Destiny keeps doing the thing where they're just gonna have, like, you know, constant soap opera melodrama with their characters, that means there's gonna be a lot of talking, which means a lot of Keith David dialogue. Because for a lot of Halo mods that have Arbiter, people actually went to Mass Effect, where Keith David also voiced a character in that series. And they basically ripped his voice lines and put them into their mods, you know, for Arbiter, for new Arbiter lines. And it's like, now that he's Zavala in Destiny, you're going to be getting a lot of Keith David lines that you could probably rip from Destiny and repurpose them as Arbiter lines from mods and machinimas.
Hill control. Reinforcements.
I want the robot arm thingy to be armored so that they make sense, but you can't see it now. So now there is no point to the customization. Yeah, basically that's the point I made. But I guess if you do want, like, that expressiveness of being able to, like, show off that you made, like, a Spartan with a robot limb, make a new piece of armor where it looks almost like the robot arm itself has specially prepared Mjolnir components that are, like, welded onto it for combat purposes, you know? Make it look almost like a Gundam arm that you have, you know?
Double kill. Hit Guardian. Your team about to score. Double kill.
Man, there are so many of them coming.
Double kill.
Oh, it's time for this thing.
5 enemies remaining. 2 enemies remaining.
Oh boy. Dude, the Chaklak boss fight in the campaign on Legendary with the skull that gives enemies more health. It's no joke. He's really hard in the campaign. I'm currently playing through Halo Infinite's campaign on Legendary difficulty with that skull enabled. And it's a lot of fun. Definitely some encounters don't work as well. But the way that I think about the sandbox has completely changed just because now the AI have more health than normal. You know, so like as an example, that bulldog, it's not too useful. It's good against the grunts because it instantly makes them, you know, stumble. But for the brutes, that thing just bounces right off their armor. So I've actually had to use a lot more needlers. Like if there's elites, I gotta use a plasma weapon, man. If there are brutes, I gotta use the needler. And then it's the jackals and the grunts where I can have a little bit more flexibility. But it's cool. I have to consider what my loadout is going to be. You know, or what weapons I keep my eyes trained for. Get him. Oh boy. everybody slow down.
Reinforcements. Double kill.
If that was an ice grenade, I would have made a chill joke. You know, I throw it and everyone freezes in place. Like, all right, guys, let's all just chill. But unfortunately, it was electricity, so I couldn't come up with a stop moving for a second, but electricity themed joke.
Cluster.
Okay.
Double kill.
Cool, traveling over shield's almost done. Yeah, we're gonna get him.
5 enemies remaining. Double kill. Triple kill. Kill. Tacular.
Pop the shield. Pop the shield. There we go.
Your team scored. Weapon drop.
I could have sworn that I heard somewhere that Arbiter is now married.
Set. Start.
I think the Halo community would know if the Arbiter was married. If Arbiter was married, that would not be a thing that you can't remember. Like, you would know. Because the Halo community would not shut up about it.
Hill ready. Hill control.
You know, our Arbiter's settling down.
Double kill.
Arbiter's gonna build his wife a picket fence. Is this Jeff's voice? It sounds good. Probably. I don't think it sounds too different. I think Jeff just sounds older.
Double kill.
And also the voice direction is different. For Bungie, they gave they did like basically ASMR. You know, the Slayer. You know, wave start. Good luck. All skulls on. Like they did more of like the calm ASMR type voice, where with 343's games, he's a little bit further away from the microphone and he's yelling more. So the vocal delivery is quite different. You know, and to Jeff's credit, he seems to have a lot of fun still doing these voices. Like if you've ever seen him on TikTok and stuff, like dude really likes doing the Halo announcer voice. He just, you know, he wants to get into that booth, he wants to say some silly things, he wants to say, killing spree. Just devoid of context.
5 enemies remaining.
Which, isn't it wild that Halo can it's like the thing that I hope that like Fox News or whatever doesn't catch a whiff of. is that Halo still has a medal called Killing Spree. I really hope they stay trapped in there. That's just
Enemies remaining.
because you know it's over for Halo when the Killing Spree medal somebody notices it and then that becomes the controversy and then they have to remove it. They were smart about SWAT. They got ahead of everybody else on that one, getting the name SWAT out of there and replacing it with Tactical Slayer. But dude, we're done. Halo is over when somebody notices the Killing Spree medal. Which Halo game has the best elite voice? In my opinion, Halo 2. Probably Halo Combat Evolved for me. With maybe Halo 3 as a close second, just because I really like the filter that they gave the elites. Their voices in Halo 3. They sound more alien. I saw that Halo is still making Microsoft billions on merch somehow. I heavily doubt that Halo is making billions in merch sales. Millions? I'd even say is possibly a bit of a stretch. Maybe a few million? I'm still bummed that they changed the name to Tactical Slayer. Even if the reason is logical and makes sense. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I am too. But we know why. It's to make sure Halo is safe. Like, to make sure that, like, they don't notice Halo and start attacking it. Like, we're good, you know? Like, it's like in a cartoon where it's like there's like a mess all over the place and you're like quickly throwing it like a blanket or a sheet like to hide it, and then it's like, wow, your room looks so nice, and it's like, yes it does, like trying to hide what we've got in Halo. Yeah, SWAT, they were able to get to SWAT quickly and throw a blanket over it, but like, cool, killing spree. SWAT I've come to peace with, you know, it not being called SWAT anymore, because I mean, I still call it SWAT, but killing spree, no. I will be very upset if they get rid of killing spree, even if they have every right to do that for the safety of the brand. Like, it'll be a dark day when somebody, like, popular video game franchise Halo lets children go on killing sprees with guns. Like, it'll be a very dark day when somebody notices that that's a medal in Halo. What would they even replace killing spree with? There's nothing. That's why it would be a dark day. Like, there's nothing you could change it to that would be better than killing spree. That's why I pray that nobody in media. My wife said that's so much worse. My wife just. Oh, she's saying, if it becomes a big controversy, just change it to murder rampage as an F you that. You know, that's the one name change I'd be okay with if they make it worse. Oh my god, my stomach hurts. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like I got a six-pack right now. Murder rampage. Get 4 kills and you get a murder rampage.
Weapon drop.
No alive spree.
Set start. Hill incoming.
When they find out about the Cheney Mania medal.
Double kill. Triple kill. Over.
Don't they? Oh man, which Halo game was it with Hillary Clinton? Which Halo game was it that had that?
Hill rep. Double kill. Rampage. Grand slam. Double
Yeah, but the Dick Cheney Mania. Oh god. Halo's medals are wild, man. Murder Mansion. they'll just oh man. Yeah, I'm just now that she said just make it worse as a fuck you. It's just like you get like 10 kills without dying and oh god, what's it called when you get 10 kills without dying in Halo? Killing spree, I think, is 4 kills. It's 4 or 5 kills. And then it's crap, what is it called? Either way, get 10 kills without dying and you just get 9/11 spree. Like, just see like go the other way and make Halo as offensive as humanly
Your
possible.
team about to score. Double kill. Triple kill.
Napoleon blown apart was made into a medal. That's good.
Grand slam.
That's a silly ass name for a dude to have. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Last enemy. Your team scored. Catch. On. Weapon drop.
Gonna make you
Yeah, Napoleon blown apart is a great metal name. For a dork. You know the So there's a term, some of you who are of the younger generation, called a Napoleonic complex. And it comes from Napoleon Bonaparte, who was a French, don't know, my history on Napoleon Bonaparte is a little bit rusty. He was a military leader for the French. Not sure if he ever became like a political leader of any kind. Either way, the dude, at least, you know, according to according to pop culture, it's kind of like disputed whether it was true or not, but he was allegedly very short. And he didn't like that. He was very self-conscious. So if you look at like portraits of him, he's so tall in his portraits that he got painted of him because he demanded that they paint him to look tall and like majestic because he was so insecure about his height. And that's where the term Napoleonic complex comes from. It's like when people, when short people are really upset. Also known as short kings, as my wife just added, which
Reinforcement.
I'm sure that's what Napoleon wanted to be, a short king with a heart. Yeah. Oh man. He was Emperor of France. Okay, so he did achieve. He did become a short king in essence. Good. Yeah, good for him. He's dead. Good for him. I think he was also like a really bad
Your
person.
team about to score.
I could be wrong. We should see that movie where the Joker plays Napoleon Bonaparte. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, what's he walking into? Apparently they made like a crazy action movie about Napoleon Bonaparte like a year ago. And Joaquin Phoenix is him.
5 enemies remaining.
Oh, this is not good for us surrounded on all sides.
Put it together and fight.
2 enemies remaining. Last enemy.
That movie was awful? No, don't say that. Was it really bad? Okay, what was bad about it? Was it bad or boring? The Napoleon Bonaparte movie. She said Napoleon Dynamite? No, not Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon.
Dynamite's like this.
She just gave me the brat face. That's what Napoleon Dynamite does.
He is. He's always got his lip out like that.
He does actually. No, he has buck teeth.
But he's also like.
Yeah. He gives the leps.
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this.
You guys hear that? I think the microphone picked that up perfectly. She does like. She came up to you guys and said, "Yo, listen to this," and gave you all the sound of her opening up a bottle. Yeah, of yummy drink. There's a grunt that's stuck up here, and we're trying to get him. How do we get him? We gotta put that little guy out of his misery. He's stuck in there. He's suffering. Oh, I think I threw it in. Is it getting him? No, it bounced back out. We gotta get him. The game won't end unless we kill him. It was very historically inaccurate. Well, that could be funny. Like, does...
Enjoyed your jacket video.
Oh, he enjoyed my jacket video?
Oh, Jackal.
Oh. I was like, I like
jacket review.
jacket review.
I didn't take out my makeup.
Oh, yeah?
I was like,
She served today with her makeup, guys. Listen, it's if anybody is married, it's a good day when the wife comes out of the bedroom wearing makeup. I love you. Mwah. She came up to me with the saranghae, with the saranghae fingers. I'm a funny guy. You a funny girl. Whoa, I think I saw a hit marker for a second. You know what? If people start leaving, that's just more for us. Okay. What key did I bind type to?
Your team scored.
Oh, he's dead.
Weapon drop.
They got him. They could rename Killing Spree to Spanish Inquisition. That would be pretty funny.
Set start. Hill incoming.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter,
Hill
babe?
ready. Enemy team took the hill.
I forgot that was a movie.
Triple kill.
Baby, have you ever seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? She just told me with 100% confidence. She walked out of the bathroom with, like, you know, that head held high, and she just declared Abraham Lincoln was a vampire. So she just ignored what I said and just decided to tell me Abraham Lincoln was a vampire. She does that sometimes. I'm like telling her something, and she does this face, and that's when I know she's not taking me seriously. That could be a funny movie, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Reinforcements.
Abraham Lincoln? The guy who gave the Gettysburg Address with the silly beard? Yeah, it wasn't his Gettysburg Address. It was the address that he gave at Gettysburg.
I can give my address out at Gettysburg too.
Yeah. She's on a roll, guys. She's drinking the silly juice tonight. She's making the joke. She said, "I'll go. What the big deal is, I can give out my address at Gettysburg too." Like, John Wilkes Booth was a vampire hunter, like Big D, but who's Big D?
Your team scored. Weapon drop.
But racist. Wait, is that why he shot Abraham Lincoln? Is that what you're saying? And Rebecca gave him the nickname Wilkies.
Set start. Hill incoming.
I didn't lose. I merely failed to win. Abraham Lincoln uses his tall hat as a stake. I see. What I'm thinking is that he's got a stake hidden under his tall hat, like a vampire breaks in and he whips off his hat, and there's like a stake perfectly balanced on his head. His vampire hunting lair, my wife wants us to know his vampire hunting lair. Abraham Lincoln, by the way. His vampire hunting lair is located in the Statue of Liberty.
That's why I want to go so bad.
Did we have the Statue of Liberty by then?
He's a vampire. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care? Okay, that's true. Oh, those grunts. They're having fun on there.
Double kill.
I think that grunt just killed his buddy by mistake.
Double kill.
When you...
And now for my next trick, PCOS.
What? And now for my next trick.
Siyas.
Hesios.
No, Siyas.
Oh, he says. That's what, I like the idea better that Abraham Lincoln just says. And now for my next trick, Hesios. And then he vanishes. And then Lonely Space Bean says, with no context provided, 16th Master Chief Abraham Lincoln. My wife agrees. Oh, he was the 16th Master Chief. Gotcha. Oh! That comment was too clever for me. But my wife got it. Like a unicorn. Oh, it's not balanced. He just has a stake growing out of the top of his head like a unicorn. That's why he wears the top hat to hide it. Abraham rams vampires like a bull. Why don't they wear top hats casually? That's a good question. Back, she said they're hot. During Arthur Morgan times, top hats were still a thing. Remember that?
Victory.
She said, imagine being naked with just the top hat.
That's hot.
That's hot. Abraham Lincoln should be in the Halo show.
I'm sure he was, but he's an Easter egg, so you have to look hard.
He probably is. Could a bunch of Halo worms cram themselves into a Spartan suit and pretend to be a Spartan?
Yes.
Probably, if they work hard enough. Worm? Alternate history where we portray the death of Abraham Lincoln, but everyone is an anime girl. Oh my god. I do not mean to type the CS, but you turn the spelling mistake into the best thing I've ever heard, and I'm taking that. Why is my keyboard like this? In theory, they could, but good luck getting in a Spartan. Someone is giddy as hell tonight. Yeah, my wife, she drank the funny juice. She's making the jokes. Unibram Lincoln. Big D. Did you know that Lincoln was a good wrestler? What? Wait, are we still joking? Is that true?
His name was Link Lone.
His name was Link Alone. Abraham Lincoln. Look, I'm like using random capital letters because I'm typing so aggressively. Abraham Lincoln. Wrestling. Oh my god, it's real.
Did he box?
Oh my god. He was Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler? Probably not. And it was probably like the boring. Like, I don't think it was like MMA. No, baby. The top hat was fashion. He did wrestle in the top. And it was like the...
Killing spree.
Did he... Baby, he was a man. He didn't have long hair. He did. She's. Did Abraham Lincoln have textured hair, and did he stuff it? Is that why he needed the top hat to stuff all of his hair? She's crazy tonight. She's getting her zoomies out tonight. Yo. She's being the big silly tonight.
Reinforcements.
Oh my god, he was a boxer. What was it, like the old style, like Victorian era boxing, you know, where it's like the guy with the curly mustache going like, "Come on, chum, put him up." You know, with the like silly, like big pants that go all the way up to his chest.
Reinforcements. Your team about to score.
You're like, "Come on, Shay, we're gonna put one between the eyes. You're gonna be going home tonight, and your wife's gonna say, 'What happened, honey? Did you slip on some ice?'" Lincoln had a third arm under his hat. What the fuck? That was. She said that's why he was so good at boxing. It was the secret. He like takes off his hat and a third arm just fucking punches you in the face.
On. Weapon drop.
Oh. He's like 4 black eye. He takes off the hat and there's just a third arm. He's like General Grievous, but a president. He's like John Wilkes Booth. Oh my god.
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill. Kill-tacular. Grim Reaper.
Why I oughta slug ya. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Dude, those Victorian era strongmen, they look hilarious. I love those guys. They got the silly pajamas. They got the silly mustache.
Double kill.
But they're like serious, you know? They're not like Chris Hemsworth where he dehydrates himself for 3 days. There's just like, it's a big fat guy who can like lift a truck. Because turns out it's muscle, not fat.
Double kill.
What do you think of the NX-1 LMG? That is so wild. It's wild to see the development cycle of like a Call of Duty game, like how rapidly they put stuff together. But that is kind of like the way that Call of Duty campaigns used to be produced. I'm not sure if it's still that way. But essentially what they just start doing is rapidly assembling levels. And then later, they'll figure out how to do a story and connect some of the levels. But that is so crazy that that was like a canceled game that was just being explored. And it was like they had how many campaign levels done, and it was just like concepts.
Your team's
And it was like literally all you'd have to do then is swap out some of the assets with new stuff to make it look futuristic. Like that NX-1 stuff looks really crazy, and I wish we got that instead of COD Ghosts.
set. Start. Kill incoming.
Someone says, no, Lincoln wasn't good at boxing, he was good at beatboxing.
Hill ready. Enemy took the hill. Double kill. Triple kill.
Oh my god. Dude,
Control.
I love that movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Billy! In Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, these like kind of like slow stoners. No, one of them's Keanu Reeves. Like they're like that. They're like, whoa. Yeah, they're like ninja stoners, but they're like lazy and they don't really want to work and they're terrible at school and they're gonna like fail. I forgot what it is that they want. It's like their parents promised them something if they get a good grade and they were about to fail, and they had to do a history report. And they got like, they found a time machine and they decided to go back in time and abduct historical figures and take them to the present so that they could write their history report, and one of them was Abraham Lincoln. And so they were like trying to teach Abraham Lincoln rock. They're like, rock on, dude. And it's like fucking Abraham Lincoln. And they brought the philosopher Socrates back, and they keep calling him Socrates.
I've always called it.
So they're just like, yo, have you seen Socrates? Where'd he go? Yeah, he's Socrates. That movie was funny, babe.
5 enemies remain.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's the name of the movie.
2 enemies remain.
And it's with it's like the movie that got Keanu
Your
Reeves
team
really
scored.
big.
Thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Weapon drop.
I think that's the movie where Keanu Reeves, you know, the whoa. Like, that's where that came from.
Set start. Hill incoming.
Yeah, that was a good movie. And then by the end of the movie, obviously, they do their book report, and it's a massive success. And they have Abraham Lincoln there up on the stage in the like gym or whatever, talking to all the high schoolers. And Abraham Lincoln is like, he's like, you know, at the end of the movie, he's learned the lingo finally, and he's like, be excellent to each other and rock on, dudes. And it's Abraham Lincoln saying that.
Reinforcements.
Yeah, that movie's pretty good. That's the way I'll put it. I mean, that comedy's pretty good. John Wilkes Booth said it is my turn on the Xbox. Dude, I think the Banished, one of their lines, is they'll say like, Mom said it was my turn on the Xbox. Like, they actually got that joke into Halo Infinite. I think it's the grunts that say that. It's either the grunts or the brute chieftains. I never thought I'd hear Abraham Lincoln and Socrates in the same sentence. They also get like Genghis Khan, but like, you know, because he's Genghis Khan, the warlord. Like, he just goes on a rampage.
Double kill.
Oh, and don't they have to? Oh my God, I'm remembering more. Don't they like lock him in a bathroom or something till they know what to do with him? And they like lure him into the bathroom with like a piece of meat or something, Genghis Khan, because they can't calm him down. Something like that. Like, yeah, if I'm remembering right, Genghis Khan like found his way into like a sports store, and he saw like hockey gear and like football pads and thought they were like weapons.
Enemies remaining.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Oh man, I almost got him up. John Wilkes Booth thought Abraham Lincoln was screen cheating. That's why he assassinated him. They were playing Mario Kart together.
Your team scored.
That was like a historic atrocity, and we're here like, yo, you think Abraham Lincoln plays Mario Kart with John Wilkes Booth? Like, oh my God.
Set start. Hill incoming.
Like, could you imagine saying that at a funeral? Like Abraham Lincoln's wife and making jokes about Mario Kart? That's right, they lured... Oh my fucking god, that's right, they lured Genghis Khan with a Twinkie. And it was under... like, he was a cat, they lured him under a cardboard box. That's right, oh my god, that movie was so great.
Killing spree.
Oh, man.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Your Shih Tzu is honking now.
That could have gone south real fast. Incoming!
Don't be whack and stay off the crack, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes.
Guardian.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but I've lost it. Okay, we'll pivot to something different then. So, the wife has finally seen Silence of the Lambs. You know, starring the late, the great Hannibal Lecter. He wants to have you. He wants to have you for dinner. She finally was interested enough to see it. And pretty good movie. I mean, I've seen it before, but it holds up so damn well. That's a pretty good movie, and now she needs something else to scratch that itch. Because, like, she only knew about Hannibal Lecter from, you know, like, the late, great Hannibal Lecter, as well as, like, you know, the face mask. So she was under the impression that he was like, okay, the guy eats people, he's got that scary mask, he's probably like Jason Voorhees, like a slasher villain. And so, Clarice turning the corner, and he's standing there in the middle of his cell, like the emoji man in the red shirt. I did, but like I know that you're laughing because you're just like, I can't believe what I'm watching. Yeah. She was definitely annoyed by something. Culinary visionary Hannibal Lecter.
Your team scored.
That movie was great.
Victory.
Is Silence of the Lambs a good movie? If so, I might watch it this weekend. It's a great movie. It's just Hannibal Lecter, like...
He's gonna have you for dinner.
Yeah, he's gonna have you for dinner. The late, the great Hannibal Lecter. It's just like a really good character. Like, I want to hear him talk about anything. And Heath Ledger's Joker was based on Hannibal Lecter. And it's like, yeah, it's just like the villain who is like 4 steps ahead of you, even when you think you have the upper hand. Like, he is just completely confident in where he is. Oh boy, my good neighbor, Mr. Lecter, is having me for dinner. I sure do wonder what we'll be eating.
He's gonna take you hot to go.
He's gonna take you hot to go. That's what the wife says. What do you think Craig's music is like? Well, it's a rock group, right? Craigathy? The only thing I know about Silence of the Lambs is a video essay I watched a couple years ago. From the clips I've seen, his character seems very well portrayed. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins did a freaking bang-up job doing him. Anthony Hopkins was so good at that, like... Just like he's so like out of it, like he lives in his own world, but that doesn't mean that he's not paying attention. And it's just so creepy the way he like stares off into the distance with this 1,000-yard stare, and you have like no clue what he's thinking about. Yeah, just Anthony Hopkins. He is a scary looking dude when he wants to be. And then it's silly because if you go over to his social media, he's like a shit poster. You know, and Anthony Hopkins is like 100 years old. He's not that old. But he's like ancient now, and the dude is like making these insane whacked out videos where he's like running around his house with his cat. And it's just like he's like, you know, he's got those big bug eyes, so he just looks like this crazy old man just like running with his cat.
Fight.
Imagine if that new Penguin show was just Colin Farrell holding a gun and going whack 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 like the Penguin from Batman. But he actually just talks like a penguin.
Set. Start. Hill.
Dude, when's the next Robert Pattinson Batman movie coming?
Double kill.
Stay low.
Hill ready.
I hope that they don't have Robert Pattinson's Batman fight the Joker, and it's like another recast for the Joker.
Killing spree. Reinforce.
You know, Heath Ledger's Joker was so powerful that my wife isn't ready yet to watch the next Dark Knight movie because Heath Ledger's not in it. Like, that's how good, like, the performance was. That she's just like, no, he's not in it. Like, the story's not going to make any sense.
Double kill.
My Friday is going terribly. A bunch of college students have Parents' Day, and there are way too many people tonight, and it was hard to clean at work. I'm sorry to hear about
Your
that.
team about to score.
Was it just, are you still there? Was it like just kind of like a disaster at work? If you are still there, the only piece of advice that I can give is disassociate.
5 enemies remaining.
Yeah, disassociate. My wife said you'll be in your bed soon, and this will all just be a bad memory. Yeah, just start disassociating, vibe to the stream, do what you gotta do, play a nice little video.
Weapon drop.
I'm really sorry to hear that, though, that you're having such a stressful night. No, I'm home, he said. Well, you're home now, okay? So focus on decompressing.
Hill incoming.
What is it that you like to do to relax at the end of a long day? Bane is cool, though, in my opinion. Yeah, Bane was a good villain in the next Dark Knight movie. It's just coming off of, she needs to, like, build herself up to that, of, like, oh, you do want to watch it? Okay. Because remember when we watched it, you were like, no, we can't watch the next one. Like, you were distraught. Yeah. Like, his performance affected her so strongly.
Rampage. Double kill.
Yeah.
Triple kill.
And he had so much talent.
Reinforcements.
Like, people, when he was cast back in the day, people thought the movie was gonna suck.
Triple kill.
Because they were like, you're kidding me. They cast him. Like, this is gonna blow.
Double
And his performance shut everybody the hell up.
double kill.
Late night therapy. I don't think it's therapy at this point. I think it's survivors helping each other out, you know? We're all just looking out for each other. I miss the slightly unfit, kooky 1960s. I do too. Adam West is still my favorite Batman. And it's because he was a slightly chubby guy in a costume that didn't fit him that well, that had the underwear on the outside look and a cape that was really short, and he just looked like a silly old guy who was kind of out of shape in a silly little Halloween costume. God, I love that Adam West Batman show. And it was quick Robin to the Batcave. And then they open up the bookcase, and there's literally a sign that says Batcave. Like as if they need directions.
Enemy. Your team scored. Weapon drop.
Yeah, I'll take this hammer. I've got more tomorrow, and I just wish I was married by now. I know that's random, but it would be nice to have someone here besides my dog. I like to play with my friends online to chill. I mean, getting married is a admirable. Why does that word sound wrong? That word sounds wrong in my mouth for some reason. Hang on.
Hill control.
Yeah, it's fine, right? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm just tired. That is a very good ambition to have in life. Are you dating anybody? You seeing anyone? And it's good that you have a dog. You know, if life seems hard, I've learned that having a dog keeps me grounded, because it's like, you know, still have to get up, still have to take the dog to pee, still have to make the food, you know.
Double kill.
And they just love so unconditionally.
Grand slam. Double kill. Triple kill. Reinforcement.
I left the stream an hour ago, and I joined, and you're still playing the same map. It's like time stood still. What you didn't know is that time moves at a slightly slower rate where I am compared to where you are. So what you're actually experiencing is time dilation.
Your team about to score.
Dude, can you imagine once we become interstellar as a species? Like when it's like, yo bro, like what time is it on Mars? Get on the Xbox. Like, we're gonna have to deal with like not just time zone differences, but time dilation differences. So it's like, where are you? It's like, bro, I'm a week from you.
Two enemies remain.
It's like, you wanna hop on Xbox? It's like, okay man, but remember, my game's gonna be going slower because my planet has more gravity.
Your team scored. Weapon drop.
Yeah, who's that far away to the point where they're from a different planet? Yep. Dude, imagine the desync. Oh yeah, the time dilation desync. I think it would be fundamentally impossible to do multiplayer games from like planet to planet, just because like time is flowing different depending on the gravity of the planet.
Hill ready. Hill control.
Oh god, I'd hate time dilation. You say that like it's traffic. Like, oh god, oh, tell me about it. Time dilation.
Reinforcements.
My younger sister orbited a black hole. She came back and now she's as old as my mother. God, so annoying. Wait, no, it would be the other way around. It would be the other way around. We'd be the ones aging. Because for them, time would slow down. So they'd be living slower. So by the time that they stopped orbiting that black hole, they'd be exactly the same age, but we'd all be older, because time would be moving faster for us. How would you even do faster than, like, communication? I think there's only, like, theories on how that could be done right now.
Your team about
Yeah, but it
to
would be
score.
tough.
Hill Guardian.
That would be, you know what? That's something I want to Google a little bit about. Interstellar communications. Like, how does time dilation, how would that factor into, like, communication? Like, especially if it's, like, time dilation, you know, the astronauts up in outer space, like, they are, if I remember right, the astronauts in outer space are living slightly faster than us.
Weapon drop.
Like, slightly faster than us. It's only by, like, a fraction of a second or something, but they are experiencing the world slightly faster. So it was like there. God, I'm trying to remember. There was this one story of It was like two men that went up into space. I don't think they were twins or something, but I think it was they had stopwatches, and they spent like a certain amount of time in space, and they were at like different altitudes. No, I think I'm confusing two stories together. I think a watch was sent into space and a watch was kept on Earth, and both watches were in sync with each other, but then when they recovered the watch from outer space, it was either ahead or behind by like 13 minutes or something weird like that. I'm probably butchering the and sensationalizing the actual story. It was probably something a lot more boring, but it was like that, where it was like depending on the gravity of your environment, time does move faster or slower. Did I say quantum physics? I think I meant quantum entanglement. That's what I meant earlier. Quantum entanglement is, if I remember right, it's an instantaneous reaction. Like, faster than light travel, the thing about that is light still has, like, light speed is still a speed where it takes light to get from point A to point B. It's fast, but it's still, there is a travel time. And quantum entanglement is, there is no travel time at all. So it's from the moment you trigger it, it can be trillions of light years away. Like, the second you trigger it, immediately the reaction will be felt across any distance. And that's basically what quantum entanglement is. But I'm not sure if that's like a theory or if it's something that's like actually like observed. Like, we know that quantum entanglement as a concept is maybe executed. Quantum entanglement still follows the laws of causality, though. Yeah, so it's like, well, the laws of causality, isn't it just like, in order to have a reaction, there has to be a cause. You know, for the phone to ring, somebody has to have made the call. The phone doesn't just ring for no reason. And that's causality. So quantum entanglement would just be like, the call is made and the phone would ring at the exact same time, basically. Isn't that it? From what I understand. So it's like there is no delay. The second the action is performed, the reaction happens, no matter the distance. If anybody is more educated on quantum entanglement than me, please come in and start correcting me, because it's very fascinating. You asked me a question, but you didn't read my reply. Here, let me scroll up. Here, I'm looking for your reply. I see. Did you see my reply? I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see your reply. Did you reply? Type it out again. I hope YouTube didn't censor whatever it is you said. And I hope whatever you said didn't need to be censored. Probably didn't, though. Instantaneous reaction to action. Okay, quantum entanglement is real, and they use it in quantum computers. Can we make quantum entanglement wireless? So like, could we call somebody from Mars and there would be absolutely no lag? Because it would, like, the call would be done with quantum entanglement. And isn't it called quantum entanglement? Because it's like the effect of what you're doing is not like, it's not like through physical space, you know? You're not like throwing a ball. It's like it's at a quantum level what's happening. So it's more or less like the universe itself is reacting. That's why it's instantaneous. There's no travel time, because it's an effect of the universe. I probably sound like a moron right now to somebody who does know know how to dumb down the explanation for quantum entanglement. Yeah, I said I wish I was dating someone, but no. Okay, well, the best... You know what? I got a wife here. What's your advice, babe?
Be gay, do crime.
She said be gay, do crimes.
I'm joking.
She's joking, obviously.
What? I didn't hear what
Fire.
you asked me advice.
He said he is not dating, but he'd like to.
Oh, he wants to date?
Yeah.
How old is he? Because his age really depends on what I say.
Yeah, your age depends.
On my advice.
Yeah. This is a genuine question. Please don't see this as hate or anything, but do you still enjoy the game? What keeps you going? I do enjoy the game. What keeps me going is surrounding myself with positivity. So, like, what really got me back into Halo Infinite was actually playing it with my wife. And her learning the mechanics of Halo. And me really enjoying Squad Battle with her, because that is her favorite playlist too. And then, you know, from there it's like, okay, well, when my wife's not playing, you know, I want to make my YouTube videos and stuff. And I found a streamer actually who streams unusually late at night, and he plays competitive, and he's pretty good. He is very chatty. So he's not, you know, like some streamers, you like tune into their stream and the camera is at a weird angle and there's like this music playing, and they look like mannequins. Like, are they alive? Is that like a frozen picture? Because they're just not talking, they're not entertaining. This guy is able to play competitively while being pretty entertaining, and it also helps that he's just kind of like a guy being a dude, you know? Nothing too crazy. He just, you know, he's chill. So seeing him enjoy the game so much, while still being like, you know, I miss these things from these Halo games. I feel like 343 could have done better. But then it's like, you know, he's like, okay, guys, we're going to go for the Onyx. You know, it makes you realize, it's like, you know what? Yeah, I can have fun with Halo.
Two enemies remaining.
Let's get him. There we go.
Your team.
And then his little angry henchman.
Double kill. Weapon drop.
Let's see. Theoretically, quantum entanglement could be used as is, but you can't because this universe doesn't let us have nice things. You please answer my question. Let me look up, see if I can find it.
So, it has come to this. Hill ready. Enemy team
Do you think
took the
that if
hill.
the Covenant from Halo 4 and 5 were instead called the Remnants, it would ease the player? Yes, definitely. I think a big mistake with Halo 4 was after, you know, in Halo 3 we killed the Prophet of Truth and the Covenant collapses, and then in Halo 4 there's a new group of the exact same aliens that are also called the Covenant, but they're not the Covenant, they're just the Covenant. And it's like confusing. They honestly probably should have just used the Banished starting with Halo 4.
Triple kill. Nightmare.
But, you know, the reason that they use the Covenant name is for branding. No luck, says Imagine Art Game.
Reinforcements.
I go to church and I need to find... Oh, here we go, babe. I go to church and I need to find someone there. I'm a Mormon. Please don't hate me for that, but no one seems to want me. Are you... Well, it depends on how old he is. If he is... Are you of the age where you have an apartment for yourself and you work a job? You know, and you're like living on your own with your dog.
Reinforcements. Boogeyman.
Like I'd say, are you mid to late 20s? Yeah, why would we hate you if you were Mormon?
Hail. Guardian.
Yeah, you want Halo and you want to get married.
Grand slam. Double kill. Triple kill. Grim Reaper.
Yes on the apartment. Oh, you're almost 30. He's almost 30. Do you want, the wife's asking, do you want a girl at your church specifically, or are you open with, like, others?
Cluster.
Or do you like somebody at
Double
your church?
kill. Triple kill. Demon.
Yeah, do you need advice with
Weapon
approaching?
drop.
Hale and G, what was the stupidest death you ever had in any Halo campaign?
Sets.
I'm pretty sure, I mean, I can't remember, you know, specifics, but there were definitely many times where a single grunt was shooting me with a plasma pistol, and just for reasons I can't explain, I was not able to get the headshot, and that grunt very slowly was able to drain my shields and then drain my health and kill me. Or, you know, the very embarrassing death, which is a suicide grunt coming at you very slowly, and for just no reason you can't kill it, you can't stop it. And so it just slowly makes its way over to you while you're fighting and shooting, and it takes you out. And you're just like, why?
Hail. Guardian.
I don't make a lot of money, and people hate Mormons. What I'd say is, well, I mean, I can't. It's hard to say because I'm not Mormon, you know. So like, I can't. I don't have the experiences, you know, of growing up and having people judge me. So it's probably a lot harder for you then.
Hail. Guardian. Your team about to score.
Well, do you want to find a Mormon woman? I guess would be the question. Because I'd assume that, like, dating a Mormon woman would be a lot easier, right? Than dating someone who's not Mormon and doesn't want to, like, convert or subscribe to some of those beliefs.
2 enemies remaining.
Because I know, like, it's obviously not, like, they're different forms of Christianity, but I know that, like, for
Your team
Orthodoxy,
scored.
at least,
Catch.
Orthodox
Weapon
Christianity
drop.
has, you know, some restrictions, some odd customs that other people who are not Orthodox think is a little bit overbearing. Probably not something that they'd want to do their whole life.
Kill incoming.
So I'm, you know, typically for Orthodox people, you'd want to marry other Orthodox people because they all get it. Yes, I would like to find a Mormon woman, he
Hill
says.
ready. Hill control.
So do you like a Mormon girl at your church, or are you trying to find a Mormon woman?
Reinforcements.
Because one piece of advice I can give you, my guy, my wife, she, you know, she knows girls. Like, for me though, as it from like, you know, guy to dude, is you seem to have low self-esteem. Just from, you know, our little conversation. And what I'd immediately suggest to you is love yourself, man. I know that that sounds like ridiculous. And you're like, oh, like, learn to love yourself and be comfortable and confident with yourself. Do things that make you feel genuinely like accomplished. Like set a goal for yourself in life. You mentioned that it's really hard to earn money. Think maybe of like some way that you can grow or expand yourself. Like set a goal for yourself in life and then achieve it. And like, you know, feel good. Feel good about those achievements.
Reinforcements. Hill. Guardian.
Yeah.
Your team about to score.
Yeah, how are you going to flourish in a relationship if you don't love yourself? Because it shouldn't be up to the woman to make you feel better. You should come into the relationship already feeling good about yourself. You know, so focus on yourself, work on yourself. And that energy then translates into like, you know, attractiveness. You know, if you're a guy who just did something that he feels really good about, that he accomplished, whether it was like losing weight or even gaining weight, you know, like exercising, reaching a certain weight goal, learning how to cook a specific kind of food, getting a hobby and getting really damn good at that hobby, or even trying to get a specific job, you know, and then finally like landing it or developing a certain skill. Like, set something for yourself and like
Your team
achieve it,
scored.
you know,
Weapon
actually
drop.
get it. I feel really like my low self-esteem has actually, like, you know, I still struggle with it, but it's a lot better now than it was before I was with my wife, because I would just kind of like wallow in it, you know. And what I've learned being married to my wife is that when I have goals and stuff, and when I'm like, not just like, I think I want to do this, like when I am every day doing something that gets me closer to the goal, it's like my brain, there's no room in my brain for the self-doubts, you know? Like, I'm thinking about the thing I'm trying to get done.
Reinforcements.
And it's like, as the months go on of you constantly doing that, like, the bad habits of self-deprecating thoughts or self-doubt, they start to go off.
Double kill.
You know, you just think about what's the next thing you need to do.
Reinforcements. Double kill.
Become the man you want to be. Yeah, that's the primary thing before you even find a relationship with someone, is make sure that it's
Double kill.
that you're looking for the relationship because you want to share your life with someone, not because you're scared of being alone or you're sad about it. Be okay with yourself
Nearing victory.
and do something that makes you proud of yourself.
Hill. Guardian.
Me? Yeah. Yeah, it was. I was in relationships for the wrong reasons. It was because I was scared of being alone with my thoughts.
Enemy team took the hill. Overkill. Double kill. Triple kill. 5 enemies remaining.
Just don't try dating apps. Yeah, don't do dating apps. Dating apps are a scam, and it's like the most hollow way that you can. You know, it's like a relationship. Like, let it form organically, and a dating app, like going into that with.
I'll kill you for this.
Oh, come here, babe. You gotta tell him into the microphone. My wife's about to spit you some hot facts. My guy.
Man to man. If there's a girl I literally you've been seeing her over and over and over.
Your
The first thing you gotta do, you gotta try to be her
Perfection.
friend.
Victory.
Because you can't just pull up and be like, obvious that you like her. That's already like kind of a turnoff. It's like an ick, you know? If you're acting too like desperate. So I say maybe like try to relate to her or something. Like if she has her phone and let's say her background is like, I don't know, like Kirby, I guess. But that's way too lucky, right? You can talk about Kirby, but just try to be friends with a girl first, and then it'll be so easy to like turn that person into your wife or partner, because that's literally how like Taras and I were. You were my best friend first.
Oh, I can barely hear you. Wife is too quiet. Oh, you gotta talk into that.
Man, I forgot what I said.
He could probably make out some stuff.
I forgot what I said.
That's all right. She said you gotta be her best friend.
First.
Yeah. You don't go into it with like, okay, now I'm your friend. Can we date? Yeah, like you don't want to be desperate. And the way that you're not desperate is by being confident with yourself. And I noticed that you said, I wish I could be proud of myself. It's stop wishing. Do something to make you proud of yourself. That's the problem, is you can be proud of yourself. You just got to make yourself proud of yourself, you know? It's like building a tree house in the backyard. It's like, man, I wish I could build that tree house. I'll never be happy until I build that tree house. And like waiting for the tree house to just kind of make itself. It's like, dude, research. What are the tools you need? Where can you get wood in your local area?
Hill ready. Hill control.
Organize it.
The cowards
You know,
are on
get
the
all the
perimeter.
planks. Saturday, start building. Yeah, be the wood. No, it's like, yeah, like, instead of saying you wish that you are proud of yourself, become proud of yourself by doing something. And it's easier said than done. It's easy. Yeah. If you're depressed, yeah, if you're depressed, it can sometimes be pretty damn hard to like give yourself a kick in the ass to get yourself started. If you got a buddy, you know, you say like, hey, listen, I don't like not having self-confidence. I want to be proud of myself. This is something I've always wanted to do. Can you push me a little bit to get it done? Because you don't want now your friend to be the one that's like
Triple kill.
force. You know, you don't want to rely on the friend. You want your friend to give you a nudge, but it's got to come from you. You know. And it's like, even when you're feeling at your absolute worst, if you can just disassociate and start it. Even if it's a little bit day by day.
Your team about to score.
Like I said, there's a game I want to make, but I don't have the resources or people I need to complete it. Okay, so you want to make a dinner. That's cool. Do you know how to code?
5 enemies remaining. Double kill. 2 enemies remaining.
making a game, so like a big AAA game that would require a team and stuff, that's pretty ambitious. And if that's your goal, you could work towards that. What are things then that you could do in the meantime? Because you don't have the money or resources to make a game like that right now, you said, right? What if you started with a smaller project? So I got a friend. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I have a friend who learned how to code, and he made for himself, like, he never released it. It was an incredibly simplistic thing. It was like 2D, 8-bit, like, side-scroller, just to, like, see if he could do it. And it was like a little game where if you walked on ice, then you went fast because you slid, you know? And if you walked on the ground, you walked slower. And it was like you had to just kind of like, it was almost like Flappy Bird, but a guy running, and you could press a key and it would change the terrain to slow your guy down or speed your guy up. And he called it like Seasons. And it was simplistic, and he never released it, but he taught himself how to code, and he did it, you know? And then I think now he works for a tech company in New York now. But like, start somewhere, you know? So like, okay, you wanna learn, you wanna make a game someday yourself. Yeah, you've got Drive, which is already good. So, do you know how to code at all? No, that's why I need people. I need people, but it would be an indie game. Yes, I am depressed. There's a buddy, my best friend, I do my gaming channel with, but YouTube's algorithm sucks. Yeah, YouTube's algorithm really sucks. And listen, also here, it's imperative. Do not look to social media or algorithm content like YouTube to bolster your self-esteem. Do not do that, okay? Because if you tie your happiness to something like YouTube, which you have no control over if a video does well or not, like, dude, like, just don't do it, okay? It is proven to be unhealthy as a way to treat depression. It's got to be something that is not online, I guess is the best way to describe it. There's Jeremy Cook, the art director for Halo Wars 2, a bit of advice that he told me was something he learned actually as an artist. In order to enjoy the art and like relax with it and draw, you know, for fun and like to enrich himself with it, is some art he just does for himself and he never shares with anybody else, because that's not the point. He's not doing it for like other people to praise him or retweet or share it around or something. Like, he's doing it because he loves drawing. And if you do it for an audience, what you really love is their reaction. You know? So you got to do something for yourself. No, I just have a show that I really like doing. I just wish to get it out to people because I know they would like it. I do good thumbnails and I know editing, but it's going nowhere. Okay, so do you want to work on this show? Or would you like to work on a game then? What is something, like, the thought of it, if you could accomplish it, would make you excited?
Your team about to score. Double kill. Double kill. Triple kill. Kill. Guardian.
Oh boy, I think I killed myself. Even with my journey in art, starting projects is always much harder than when I'm near the end of a project about to wrap things up. Dude, it's the same way for editing. I freaking hate when I open up Premiere Pro and it's the empty timeline.
Weapon drop.
I freaking hate it. And I am learning to push past the procrastination. The hell is this guy doing? This brute, he's Craig, he's worshipping. He vanished. He was banished.
Double kill.
My wife did a silly dance.
Hill controlled. Reinforcements.
We looking out for you, dog. Hoping for the best in your future endeavors, right now and always. You see, it also helps to hear some of that positive reinforcement.
Killing spree.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, and it's really hard to empathize or understand it, but that self-esteem, the cure to it is to do something that you are proud of. To get it done. Finally, at long last, do it. And then once that's done, keep doing it. Keep accomplishing great things. Think of something that you want to get done and do it. And you'll feel pretty damn good with yourself after you actually get it done.
Running riot. Double kill.
And something also that helps, I guess, is
Double kill. Rampage. Double kill. 5 enemies remain. 2 enemies remain.
something also that helps quite a bit is if you find yourself spending a lot of time inside when you're not working.
Your team scored.
Yeah, don't count out on. Yeah, my she's spitting out the facts right now. Also, do not like discount chemical and vitamin balances. Because you know that stuff does affect the chemistry of your brain. You know, if you're not getting a certain amount of vitamins, the body has a way of negatively reacting to that, and it affects your mood and stuff. So you know, if you're not getting a certain amount of vitamins, like maybe start taking a multivitamin pill. See how you start feeling in about a week of consistently taking it. It's not going to cure things, you know, but if your body is lacking something, it has a way of showing up in our mood and how we're feeling.
Double kill.
Video not doing well even when you know they're not going to do well hurts a lot. You never really get used to it, dude. Right? It used to kill me. I say used to, it still kills me when that happens. It's like, you know, it's like you're all sleeping on this. I made this great video and you're all sleeping on it. Yeah, I know the feeling. Oh, you sent a super chat again. I love editing, but I was wondering how you go into theater mode. Oh. Okay, so, trade secrets, but I can, so, okay, do you have a PC, do you play Halo on PC? If you do play Halo on PC, I can show you how. Oh my god, you got it working? Tonight, you got it all done? She finished her Tamagotchi.
Your team scored.
Look, that's
Victory.
I actually bought some retro writing fluid, no, I mean gel instead. And I said for now I'm just gonna paint it pink and then put it in this case and forget about it so I don't get like too obsessed. Cause I want to play it right now. So.
Okay. Well, guys, today Rebecca completed her Tamagotchi.
But it wasn't working though, so I cleaned the battery things, and it works. And it was sold to me as non-working, and I fixed it.
You gotta speak up. You gotta lean into the microphone to talk. She's being silly. Was just stopping in, but just know you easily make the best Halo content on YouTube. Will always be a fan. That was Pigpen who said that. The guy who makes the icebergs. That's kind of you, man. That's kind of you.
I know him.
Yeah? Pigpen. She's doing her dance again. Okay. Okay. I assume that you have Twitter, right? Imagine Art. Here, I'll send this to you, buddy. Let's see. Imagine Art. People. Okay, DM me.
Firefight.
Shoot me a DM on Twitter right now. Vitamin deficiency literally makes our bodies react like it's addictive, like relapsing. Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. A vitamin deficiency, it does feel like withdrawal. You know, like your eyes feel heavy, you feel kind of like clammy, you feel kind of like sick, a little bit shaky, you feel kind of like cryy a little bit, you know, like very sensitive, very like, you feel so unregulated, you know, like, yeah, like something is wrong in your body. You're missing vitamins.
Double kill.
Yeah, that's usually when I start feeling sick for absolutely no reason. You know, I've slept well, I'm not hungry, but I feel like shaky and sick. It's usually like, oh, I guess I haven't been eating well the last couple of days. I also haven't seen the sun in a while. I probably need to go outside for a bit, maybe eat a tomato, take a multivitamin, and then I start feeling better.
Reinforcements. Double kill. Rampage. Triple kill. Overkill.
Play Signalis. Robot Yuri Silent Hill.
Reinforcements.
Is it good?
Double kill. Nightmare. Your team about to score.
So if you guys are curious why I'm playing Firefight so obsessively, it's actually because I'm trying to get the hero right. I want to get that Master Chief skill. So I've been grinding the Firefight playlist. Says I have to upgrade it too. Man. Okay, like one of my tweets, so you pop up, or comment below my latest tweet. Just say, like, or something, yeah. That way you show up.
Enemies remain. Last enemy.
You make us close weapon!
Your team scored. Weapon drop. Set start. Kill incoming.
If you have time to play video games, then you also have time to go outside and do fun activities, of course. It's good to keep a balance of both. Yeah, that's also something to consider also is like, we like video games,
Enemy
but
team took the hill.
if there's something that you really enjoy doing, and you prefer to be playing a game over that thing, like basically think about like relaxing versus working towards something. Like if you could be doing something that you'd be proud of, or playing video games, like maybe do the thing that you're proud of.
Hill control.
Because video games can be a fun distraction, especially when we're sad. And that definitely doesn't mean stop playing games. Like,
Reinforcements.
figure out that balance. You see my user?
Reinforcements.
Saw a few clips of Signalis that looked really good.
Hill. Guardian.
Check it out then. Is that why the Dead Space remake people have been because isn't the Signalis like a person with like black hair and a stripe or something, like that's their costume? They've been drawing that character with like the Dead Space stuff. Is that because it's like another entry into the horror game genre that people really like?
Double kill.
Trying to figure out how to add people getting onto it. Don't worry about it. All you have to do is reply to my latest tweet, and I'll see you.
About to score.
Okay?
Killing spree.
And then what I will do is I will shoot you a deer.
Double
Go.
kill. Killing friend. 5 enemies remaining. 2 enemies remaining. Last enemy. Your team scored. Weapon drop.
Ah, Charlie Grimm is right next to the beach. So when the going gets tough, he likes to go for a walk. You know what? Here, imagine Art. This'll listen. We're all guys here, right? We're all dudes. It is so. I hope you're listening, buddy. Imagine Art. Look up Haloy. Haloy. I sound like Ubernick. Haloy.
Enemy team took the hill.
Look up Halo Checkpoint Manager. Okay? That's the tool that you can use to do theater mode stuff, but I am not going to tell you how to use it.
Hill control.
Because you should figure that out, man. Start learning it.
Reinforcements.
Oh no, I'm not laughing. In the other room, she's singing a song.
Running right.
What time is it? Oh man, it's 12:30. Okay, after this match, I think I'm gonna snarl.
Reinforcements. Double kill.
Ubernick is awesome. Ubernick is awesome. That guy's a champ.
Rampage. Double kill. Enemy team took the hill.
I'll eat your go.
Reinforcements. Hill control.
Something to kill.
Your team about to score.
go. We're getting this guy up. From what I heard, she's like a robot mechanic android in a horror setting. A bit like how Isaac was just a mechanic guy in a horror setting. Oh, okay. That's the Signalis protagonist. Good stuff, good stuff. Blue-collar workers in screwed-up situations are a fun genre of horror. Oh, my wife also saw Alien for the first time. Guess what? She was on the Alien side.
That sounds crazy.
But the way you put it made total sense. That it was just like an animal. It was just minding its own business. Like the dude shoved it, like the egg opened up, and he was like, "Oh, I wonder what's happening."
Your team scored. Weapon drop.
He got what he deserved. John Hurt. Yeah, John Hurt got hurt. That was just an animal doing its natural life cycle. And then at the end, Ellen Ripley was like being annoying and being loud and like stomping around. And he just wanted to nap. Yeah, he was cozy in that little corner. And she blew him out the airlock for it. Yeah, and then she fried, like, he was trying to get back in because it was cold outside. and then she fried him. She said it was a horror movie about just killing an innocent little guy. Is that why it wasn't scary to you? Because all you could think about was how it was just an animal?
Yeah. That movie's like scary for people?
Yeah, back in the day it scared people. But also I think we're so desensitized to like aliens that back then that was probably like terrifying to people.
Cluster. Triple kill.
You show me the aliens.
Killing spree.
She called the little... What did you call the little guy that popped out of his chest? A squeaky? Yeah, she said when John Hurt fell over on the table and the thing popped out of his chest, she said it was a squeaky and that it's cute. And it was like... And then it like... It was being born and then it ran across the table. Yeah, is that what he was doing? Yo, how is Reb? Says Thomas Hendrickson. She responds with Yom. Then she says, how is Tom? How is Tommy? Thomas Hendrickson really liked your analysis, babe. He said the idea that the entire Alien franchise is just a huge misunderstanding and misinterpret. Yeah, like reframing the Alien franchise as humans walk into a wild animal's natural habitat and get mauled. Like, he says, I good with a smiley face. Alien be like, ayo, chill, guys. Is it just called Halo Checkpoint? No, it's called Halo Checkpoint Manager. HCM. Thoughts on the Minecraft movie at all, if any at all? My wife got really mad at Jack Black. She likes Jack Black, but he is not Steve. His name is not Steve. Alrighty, fella. Yeah, he's more of a Freddy Fazbear. Alrighty, fellas. Yeah, pretty fat bear. That's my pumpkin, my dog over there. Right now, he looks like a fat little bear. Bear. He was itching his ear, and Shih Tzus, if you've ever seen, not like the Shih Tzus with the super long fur, but you know, like when a Shih Tzu that kind of has a short cut, when it starts getting a little bit husky, you know, the hair gets a little bit too long, and they start just looking like fat little teddy bears. That's my pumpkin right now. He's itching his ear, so he's doing the fat puppy sit, and he just, God, he looks like a chubby little teddy bear. You're not a canine. You're just a little tubby wubby. I'm going to go now. It's getting really late here, so I'll catch you next stream. Good night. Yeah, and that's also where I'm going to, guys. It's just Jack Black in a blue shirt. It is. He's not Steve. It's Jack Black in a blue shirt. I appreciate all of you joining. This was a really fun stream. Hope to see you guys on the next one.